feel me? VP digital drop easy. Stay the alpha here is crazy.
Wow. What's up, everybody? Intro's not working today. Starting soon is not working today. I got here a little late, so we're starting a little bit late. Wait for Mo to arrive. It's all my fault. My kid is on the track team now, so I don't pick him up until 4, so we're always cutting it close. All right, he'll be here in a second. We'll see if the chat's working. I probably need to run a test. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time for this week's Tales from the Crypto. Looks like I'm going to have to remake my intro. This might be a whole entire buggy stream. It's a little buggy already. We got Mo here already. Let's go. We're good to go then. Hopefully everything's working on Twitter. Oh, I need to get my chat open. Sorry, I told y'all. I told Mo he's going to be cutting it close today. Alright, let me open up my chats as Mo connects. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's hanging out with us. There's Mo. What's up, Mo?
What up, brother? What up, chat?
Sorry, I had some issues. The intro was not working today. The starting soon was not working. I don't know if I have to remake them or if it's a problem on my end, but because of that, I had to just like skip it and just start her up.
Motherfuckers.
It's gonna be one of them days. We'll see how everything goes. So far, so good, I suppose. Oh, I don't see you yet. You're invisible. I see your background. I see your test.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Apparently my computer rebooted and I didn't even know it. So all my routing is a little fucked up.
Testing the chat. Looks like the chat works. All right, we're good. Phew. Yeah, sorry about that, Mo. Like I was telling you earlier, my kid's on the track team now, so I got to go pick him up at 4. We get back about 4:45, and you know it takes more than 15 minutes for my old computer to get all loaded up and ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully
Yes, sir.
staying safe out there. I know track and field has become a dangerous sport nowadays. So be careful.
Yes, and I didn't even realize that until you told me about the new story that's going on, and we're going to talk about that. Unfortunately, like I said, I just found out about it, so I don't have a video loaded about it. Maybe we can try to pull it up during the stream, but Mo's going to talk about it during the sports section. Some girl hit this other girl with the baton. Mo says for sure that she did it on purpose, but I mean, she's like acting. I saw an interview and she's crying and she's like, I didn't do it on purpose. My arm just moved in that direction. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. All right, let's check to make sure. Oh, and see if anybody's here. I'm gonna go fix my thumbnail on YouTube. Anybody in the chat here hanging out with us Tuesday? Our Tales from the Crypto that we do every Tuesday. There's the big homie, Biggest Bro. What's up, Biggest Bro?
We caught him off guard without the intro, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we didn't have an intro today. We didn't have a starting soon or a waiting room. We might have to just stop doing Twitter. I think that's what's messing it up. I'm just going to stream this on YouTube maybe from now on, and I think that I'll get rid of all the glitches.
Yeah, I don't know if it would help. I mean, I don't know how much interaction we get on Twitter. I could even take the feed and send it to X, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you want to do that, that'd be pretty cool. Well, we'll start doing that next week.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know.
I'm fixing the thumbnail right now on YouTube. That's one problem with using the restream. Biggest Bro says she definitely bonked her on purpose. Oh, he knows about it too. What? But she feels so sad about it.
No, what about her feelings, right? You know,
yeah. Like I said, I want to know the history between them two. Do they have beef or something? If they have beef, well then maybe there's something behind that. We got Grandma Moore in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, Grandma Moore. We're getting ready to get started here in just a second. We got a paranormal topic to talk about. It's not actually paranormal. It's more of a conspiracy theory. Actually more of a right-wing conspiracy theory. But you'll get my take on it. Maybe I believe it, maybe I don't. Stan, the man's in the house, says, I miss omelets. You can still make omelets. It's just going to cost you $39. And I hear egg prices are going down, actually. But Trump said on day one. All right, let's get started. I know we probably don't have a ton of people here, but this is a special treat just for the people who were nice enough to join us at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk about our paranormal or really conspiracy theory topic, a right-wing topic. It's Tom Hanks. What's up, Woody? Woody's not going to like this one. Got you on in the background.
My bingo card ever.
My man. What'd you say?
You talking about Tom Hanks on a conspiracy theory show?
And I think it was last week we were doing Dora the Explorer. We cover everything.
That's right.
We cover everything around here. All right, so the video I put together, it's like it's a cut up version of this TikTok video that went viral. I've got the link to it down in the description. And he goes into a whole bunch of different conspiracy theories, half of which I think are so dumb that I didn't even include here. So I cut it up to tell you guys the story that I think is actually pretty interesting. So it's about Tom Hanks, of course, and you can see in Forrest Gump where Tom Hanks gives the guy his Medal of Honor, and the argument he's making here is that this was supposed to symbolize the Baphomet necklace. So I got both of those on here real quick. And it actually is. That is the Medal of Honor, what it looks like in the movie Forrest Gump, and that is the Baphomet necklace. And they do kind of look alike, but it's not like the makers of Forrest Gump have anything to do with the design of the Medal of Armor. So I think that was pretty silly, kind of crazy that they would even make that comparison. But we've been talking about the whole Tom Hanks conspiracy, and I really wanted to know if there was something behind it. So I'm trying to research it. I'm going to show you guys what I found out. Ever since Manti Tao, I don't believe athlete tears. I didn't hear the Manti Tao story either. Maybe this is all track and field drama that I never even knew existed. We got Thanu in the chat. Yeah. What's up, Thanu? Viper Actors
Mr. Viper.
Here.
What up, Viper?
Let's go. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going over the Tom Hanks conspiracy theory. So far, I'm feeling like it's kind of like debunked. I don't even think it's legit yet. So let's keep it going a little bit more. We're going back to the Forrest Gump movie. There's the necklace, the Baphomet necklace. And then he makes this sign with his hands right there. Now that one, all right, so now I'm like, hold up. Look at him right here in the movie. Why in the world does he have a peace sign? I mean, the peace sign up makes sense. They did that in the 70s. He's saying peace. They're in the middle of a war, blah, blah. Why have a peace sign down, though? That makes no sense whatsoever unless it's trying to be symbolic. And the only thing that it could symbolize is this actual well-known symbol of, like, Satan, of Baphomet, where he puts the two fingers up and the two fingers down. So this one, actually, I'm like, whoa. Now I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe there is something to this, because that one trips me out. I understand why they did it. So now we're going to move into Castaway, of course, and you got Wilson with the red face. Now, apparently, this is some type of symbolism as well, some type of, I think, Satan-worshipping symbolism. And you can see they showed Lady Gaga. She also dressed up, like, in the same way. And then it also has to do with these single hands. And you're going to see, even here in Castaway, they'll show it here in a second. Well, I think they show it in a minute, but they had a bunch of handprints on the wall on Castaway too. See? So it has something to do with this red face and the handprints. And then Tom Hanks has this thing on Instagram that he does, and this is really conspiratorial. I've heard people talk about it before, and I never really understood why he does it, but for some reason he'll post like single gloves. So it goes back to that symbolism of one hand. He's always posting single gloves for no apparent reason
with the hoodie
that he finds laying on the ground, right? All right, so let's go a little bit further. There's the single hand drawn on the wall. Now, apparently, red shoes represents pedophilia. I didn't know this until I was doing some research into it, but then you start looking at stuff, kind of crazy that the Pope wears red shoes, and then you go into this Comet, is it a pizzeria? The Comet place that they always talk about in the conspiracy theories, and all this weird art that's on the wall of this Comet pinball place or whatever it is. And in all the art, all the kids are wearing red shoes. So it's kind of trippy that this is all starting to get together. They bring it to McDonald's as well, because McDonald's has the red shoes, and they do a bunch of commercials with kids wearing red shoes. And then what really trips you out at the end, they show Lady Gaga and all that, is when you realize that in the 1980s, Tom Hanks made a movie called The Man with One Red Shoe. And that's the one where I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think maybe there is something to the whole Tom Hanks conspiracy. What do you think?
I mean, it
Mo?
goes deeper than Tom Hanks. I mean, again, this kind of dives into the whole Hollywood inner, circle bullshit, right? With the 1% running the world, right? Like, I mean, so Seth Green, I forgot the guy's name. It was Seth Green and somebody else that were talking about their experiences in Hollywood and how they were taken advantage of and stuff like that as children.
Is Seth Green, is he the one that's Dr. Evil's son?
Yeah. And a lot of this, like, again, you talk about going down the rabbit hole, and I'm right there with you, because when I started looking into it was when we started doing the Island, the Grove place, right?
Bohemian Grove, yep.
Yeah, and when I started diving into that, that's what actually took me down the original Tom Hanks rabbit hole, which kind of made me sick to my stomach.
It's crazy.
You know,
I don't think there's really anything to it, but then you start to put two and two together, and it's kind of like maybe there is something to it. Shout out to Alejandro's in the chat. What's up, Alejandro? We got Denny OC
Alejandro.
here as well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Biggest Bro
yeah, so
says.
there's a dude. Sorry, there's a dude, Isaac Cappy. He was another child actor, and he was, quote unquote, offed himself, right? Ended himself.
Dude.
And he was even posting before that, like, oh, I would never do that, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, he miraculously, like, throws himself off a bridge or whatever, right?
Yikes.
And a few days prior to that, Tom Hanks had actually posted a one glove picture, said historic Route 66, roadkill, I hope not. And that was the same spot where this dude actually met his demise.
What? Yeah, the whole Tom Hanks thing is kind of crazy to me. I actually have a video here that I added as a graphic to the stream. I don't know if y'all want to watch it or not, but Conan actually asks Tom Hanks about his Instagram photos that he posts. It's kind of it's a long answer. I didn't record the whole entire thing, but it's kind of weird his answer about it, because the whole thing, now that you look into it, it's kind of a deep rabbit hole that seems crazy to me. Biggest Bro says, imagine getting ready for the day and being like, I'm gonna hit them with the red ones. Throwing on those red shoes. I mean, that's the Pope, though, man. He can rock whatever he wants to. But yeah, they had a whole gang of dudes walking around in the red shoes. And maybe it really does symbolize something wicked. Like, that's the first time I ever heard that, though. That's what that symbolizes. We got OG Bruin88 in the building. What's up, Bruin88? We're gonna be getting into politics, so you can yell at me here in a minute. But all right, here is the Tom Hanks reply. We'll just watch it for a minute. So this is how he said, the reason why he says he makes these Instagram posts.
I noticed you have this obsession with lost gloves. And anyone who knows you and follows you understands that there's something going on with you and lost gloves.
Well, it's lost objects, but it started with lost gloves. And first of all, there's a story behind them all. What happened? What happened to its mate? How did this glove get lost? Is home on the off chance that they're going to pair it up? It's a quality to it.
You're saying there's a little bit of a hint of sadness to these. It's like it's telling you a tale, but you don't know what the tale.
Adventure.
Let's take a look at some of these. I want to put this up. This is one you took, and
yeah. Now
tell me what's going on here. Why is this so evocative to you?
Well, first of all, I don't touch them. I just see them and I photograph them. So I have never.
You don't want your DNA on those.
Well, it could be a crime scene, and let's not give the cops a break.
It feels to me like they went down into that door.
Well,
and they were grabbing on, and then they were sucked in, and.
All right, we all get the picture. It seems to be a little bit glitchy. I can't tell because I can't hear it while it's playing. But so that was the excuse about why he does it, and he kind of jokes around about killing people during his excuse. I've got the whole entire video linked down in the description if you want to watch it. It all seems a bit creepy to me. And in that same original video that I cut up a little bit, he also gets into the whole idea of spirit cooking, and that's the one that kind of trips me out. And I was talking about that a couple weeks ago with you, Mo. Like, I don't really understand why they're talking about this spirit cooking thing, so I wanted to research that a little bit. And apparently spirit cooking is the name of some art project, right? So the project includes a cookbook, a multimedia installation, and dinner parties. And I think one of those dinner parties was pictured with Lady Gaga there, like eating from what looks like a human in blood. Maybe it was really a human, I don't know. But you can see here's all the information about the dinner parties, and all that's nice and fine and everything. Here's a picture of it so you can see what the actual crazy recipes. Is it not working? Am I frozen? I feel like I'm frozen. There we go. What the recipes look like. One of them's like cut with the something deeply into something of your left hand and eat the pain. So this is like what supposedly is the spirit cooking. It's just this one art installation. But if you look into WikiLeaks and you see that email that Tony Podesta sent to this Ibrahimovic lady, I know that's not her real name, something like that. He's talking to her, and she says, she says to him, I am so looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place. Do you think you'll be able to let me know if your brother is joining? So, I mean, what kind of spirit cooking are they talking about there? Because obviously they're not talking about some art installation. And a lot of people speculate that has something to do with drinking blood, maybe even like adrenochrome. I don't know, man. It gets pretty deep. It gets crazy, but what part of it's true and what part of it's not true? What do you think, Mo?
I mean, after learning about the Diddy stuff and seeing some of those videos now with new information, they kind of hit different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there's definitely a lot of freaky shit that goes on with these higher up people. You know what I mean? Because they get so bored. Imagine having just so much money. Like, me and you, we got to get up, we got to work, we got to bust our ass, right? But imagine like just having no cares in the world and be like, you know what? I'm just going to try to manipulate people today. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to try to buy this person off, or I'm going to try to take over this, section of my industry, whatever the case might be. Like, it's crazy, bro. It happens it seems like
I
every
don't think
fucking
that's
day.
everybody. I think it has to be a special, like, evil person. I mean, if I had a whole bunch of money, I wouldn't be messing around with.
But the ones running it, I'm
None of
saying.
this
Like,
crap.
there are good people, but I'm saying, but the people that run the show,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to, like, Hollywood and, like, entertainment and music,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and even my kid and his friend today in the back of the car were talking about the Diddy allegations with OBJ and Drewski. I don't know if you heard about that.
that's what I was referring to. The
yeah.
Drewski video hits different now. When you see Diddy interacting with him the way he is, like, that's like, whoa, wait a second.
But apparently Drewski wasn't even famous at that time. At that time, he was still at home living with his mom and broke. So I don't even know if it was true. Or anyway, that's what the kids are saying.
But that's how they groom the people. Like,
Yeah.
that's what grooming is. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, you
Do it while
find
they're
these
young.
people that are nobodies, and you could take your money, your power, your influence, and you can make them somebody, and now they owe you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're indebted to you fucking for life. You know what I mean? And at that point, now you become like their puppet, and they basically own you. And I think that's kind of what happened with like Usher and Bieber and all these guys, right? Because
Yep.
it's all down the chain. And like Diddy was just one link of the chain that came from like the other R&B and was it like Russell Simmons allegedly and all them.
Oh, really?
There's another one.
Yeah.
Like they were the ones that were banging dudes back then too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's these waters run deep, man.
I don't ever think that I could hook up with so many girls that I get bored and I want to hook up with a dude. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe some power thing. Alejandro says, what about the face on the Wilson ball? Yeah, I was just showing that. Ellen is seen wearing a hoodie. I showed that too. That was in the video. Did you just get here? Both of those were in the video, Alejandro. That's what we were talking about. It's kind of crazy.
She is evil. Ellen is straight up evil. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of like celebrities calling her out, but there's some good ones, man, because she portrays like this nicest person in the world, but behind the scenes, she's the biggest bitch around.
Yep.
And I think it was it Dakota Fanning, I think it was, where like Ellen tried to put her on the spot about a birthday party or some shit, and Dakota was like, she was like, no. She's like, you were invited. You always tell me you're not good enough. Blah blah blah. You scoffed at this, and bro, you could tell Ellen was real uncomfortable. She's like, bitch, you're off the script right now. What are you doing?
That's messed
You
up.
know?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stories about Ellen treating other people pretty messed up. And that's why she's not famous anymore. But here she's making a comeback too. Then he says,
well, they could try, but
she could try. She's doing stand up. I heard a rumor that has it. Chester from Lincoln Park, and Chris Cornell were both gonna come out with some shit that we gonna expose a bunch of people, and both of them off themselves. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Chris Cornell, who's that? That sounds familiar.
Soundgarden. I mean, to be fair though,
Yeah.
both of those guys, even if that, because you could look at that and it could be true, but both of those guys were troubled people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they wrote about it in their music. You can see it in their lyrics. Like, but I mean, hey, it could have happened for sure. Again, it's a fucked up industry, bro.
Yeah. Anytime you got a whole bunch of money and power all concentrated, they'll do anything they can to keep that money and the power. And we'll talk about that when it comes to politics too. But it's in every big industry like that. And then speaking of people in that industry, did you hear the thing about Bill Burr and the guy from Smashing Pumpkins being brothers?
No, but is that true or
I think it's legit, dude. They look exactly alike, and apparently their dad was like this traveling musician. And the crazy part was, who's the germaphobe guy that's on like America's Got Talent? Howie Mandel had them on their podcast, both of them at the same time, and like kind of tricked them into being there. And you can look at them side by side; they look exactly alike. And Bill Burr's kind of acting like he thinks it's true too. So that was kind of a crazy story how it just popped up out of nowhere. A lot of people have been talking about it this week.
That's pretty wild. And
Yeah.
I just visualizing both of them, and Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, they got the same face, it seems like, next to each other. Bruno88 says, Mo knows have so much money you got bored. I mean, I will never have that much money. Grandma Moore says, how much of it is all about blackmail and power versus the actual action? Where do you think those missing kids are? What missing kids? With the sick/rich people? I mean, there's so many missing kids. Who's to know like where they all are? I mean, they're all have their own different circumstances, I'm sure, but I think a lot of it has to do with blackmail and power, especially with the Epstein stuff. Apparently, he was working with Mossad, which is like Israel's CIA, and he was getting videos of all these rich and powerful people coming to his island and doing bad things, having it on camera. Then he gets to, and really Israel gets to hold it over their head to get them to do whatever they want. So. Yeah,
I just heard that, by the way. You said blackmail and power, and I think you said black males in power, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to talk about this topic.
I'm not gonna get into DEI.
Yeah.
We did that last
okay,
week.
so blackmail, and yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is, bro. Like, you just wake up and you're like, my bills are paid, my family's generations are taken care of. Let me just, who can I manipulate? Who can I fuck with? Who can I extort? You know what I mean? Like.
Man, sorry if the screen's a little bit laggy for y'all. Maybe it's just on my end. Every once in a while, it looks like we're glitching out. Danielle C says both Chester and Cornell grew up in the music industry, and we see what happened over there in the R&B side of the industry. Where do you think he learned that from? He didn't just do that himself. He probably learned it from other parts of the music industry, and it's probably going on everywhere. So maybe they did know about it, and they were about to tell everybody, so they had to go. I don't know, maybe. All right, y'all. Let's move on to our next topic. We got sports to talk about. Let me, if it works.
Don't break the computer, please.
Oh no. Yeah, I think it's the transition isn't gonna work. God dang, what is going on with my computer today? Please just don't. Okay. All right, we made it. We're safe.
We made it. We made it, chat.
Transition did not work though. Bruin88 is getting censored. I don't know what's up with YouTube. Just try to like space your words out. I don't know. Put a space in between every letter of every word. Maybe that'll help it get through. All right, not a ton going on in sports except for, of course, March Madness, like we talked about last week, is getting ready to go down. Selection Sunday's on the 16th. Fill out your brackets. Apparently, the number one seed overall is Auburn right now, even though they just lost their last two games back to back. Lost them both. They're still the number one team. So I don't follow college basketball very closely. I don't know, man, they must be good or something to, after losing two games, still be the number one seed. But like I said last week, my team to watch in the tournament is Duke. Big fan of Cooper Flag. Probably going to be number one pick in the NBA next year. So that's who I'm picking. I might fill out a bracket this year. In the NFL, the free agents season, I guess they call it, the free agency market has just started.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Steelers have acquired DK Metcalf. That's a big name. And the Raiders picked up Geno Smith. Let's see.
Yeah, they got Geno from Seattle.
Yep.
But the big one's coming.
Is that Sam Darnold?
Oh, hell no.
Oh.
You know, they were talking about the Jets getting Darnold again, and I was going, I mean, I'm a Bills fan now anyway, but Justin Fields, bro, and I think we talked about it on this show, actually, during some of our sports. The fact that he played for such a pathetic organization with Chicago, with that management and that coaching, then went to Pittsburgh and actually had a really good start to the year, and then they were like, well, we're kind of committed to Russell Wilson, and how did that fucking turn out? Yo, Justin Fields is going to be, as long as we keep our offense and we keep our receivers and our running backs, whatever, this offense is going to be nasty with him. And I know my homie Ricky, he might be watching. Bro, this could be good. This could be the best thing the Jets have done in a long time.
I thought you said you weren't a Jets fan anymore.
But I'm still a fan of the NFL, and you know,
I
like
you
good
say I'm
people.
back.
Nah, I'm not back. Let's win a couple, and then we'll talk. But
A lot of big moves happening in the NFL right now. Bruno today says, I knew a weird girl. She was paid $1,000 a week to put on a rubber glove. That's called a colonoscopy. No, I don't know. And then also, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, was the event that happened in high school track and field. Mo, do you know what state it was in?
I do not.
I'm not sure what state it was in. So apparently there were these two teammates that were running a relay, and the footage is a little blurry. I haven't seen a zoomed in version, but somehow or another, the girl in the back who was handing off the baton to the girl in front of her, her teammate, reached up and hit her in the head with the baton. The girl that was in front of her like fell over. She was hurt. And then the story went viral, and now I'm seeing interviews with the girl who was in the back who hit her with the baton, saying that it was all a complete accident. She was getting ready to hand it off, but then she slipped and her hand just went in that direction. Mo says no, that's not what happened. So I've only looked at it a little bit. Mo, give me your opinion on the track and field or the controversy happening right now.
Yeah, so you got the two chicks that just running alongside each other, right? Again, normal racing. You know, I mean, I used to run some track, and you know, anybody who's ever run, you know, in like on a track, or whatever, even in real life, just you move your arms and your body, right? You're going just to keep momentum, right? Bro, she clearly, when she looks over and sees she's about to get past, dude, she's like, oh hell no, not this bitch. And bro, she just fucking you could see, bro, like the over exaggeration of bringing her arm up and striking it. And then it's like, yeah, it's her reaction after that is just kind of telling that it's all bullshit. And she just had, you know, again, she probably just had in the heat of the moment, you know, mental breakdown, and was like, you know, like a lot of these young kids do nowadays, they freak out, you know.
She was just a high schooler. She was frustrated, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. But even dealing with, you know, like when I was living with my cousin and some of those people, like those younger generation, bro, like the way that they handle adversity is so different. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's like fly off the handle, raise your voice. They take like temper tantrum type shit. We tried that. We did that shit when we were like 10 years old. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's other people during your era of being 10 years old that were 16 years old that flew off the chain for weird stuff too. Everybody's different. We have the same amount of crazy people now, percentage-wise, I think, that we had as of crazy people percentage-wise at any other period.
I don't know, because I feel like level-headed people now compared to back then were just, to me, the scale's way different. But in this situation with this broad, I mean, I don't know if you have the video to show. I can do Mo and Tell, but yes. She clearly just like raises it up and then just boom, like the whack. And then in the interview, she's like, I tripped and my arm rolled up her back and got stuck in her hair. And it's like, what are you even talking about? She just looks over, the chick goes by, she raises her arm, and then bam. And apparently she almost did.
I got you on Mo and Tell if you want to show us.
Oh yeah, I can do it. Let's see.
Shout out to Big A's in the chat. Bruin88 said Hollywood elitist. Alejandro says the Jets have finally have a good quarterback. And Alejandro also says she hit it on purpose. Everybody seems to think she hit it on purpose. I only looked at the video for just a few seconds when Mo told me about it, so I don't know for sure, honestly. Bruin88 says, typical white skeleton. It is racist to think it was on purpose. All right. You're good.
How is that racist?
He's kidding. It's Bruin88.
The hell is it?
He's a Trump supporter. Everything's race to them.
Oh, you should see it now, right? Yeah. Yeah, so...
All right, let's see this. Nobody's going to hit their teammate on purpose.
Not a teammate.
Oh, it's not?
If that's a teammate, that's even more fucked up.
I thought that was her teammate. They're wearing the same outfit.
Wait, seriously?
And I thought they were going to hand it off to her. They're in the different lanes, though.
It's the same outfit. I think it's just dark, isn't it?
And she was catching... Oh, no, yeah. She was getting passed. Oh, yeah, you might be right. She was getting passed by an opponent.
Right. The normal run, and then she's like, oh, hell no.
Oh, that's messed
and listen,
up.
I've seen brawls break out, right? And it has to do with white, black, Chinese, whatever. I've seen chicks take their weaves out. I've seen chicks bust out all sorts of weird things, and like that's exactly what it looked like to me. You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
That did sound a little racist, I'll be honest.
I'm just saying, I know it was white chicks taking out their weaves. But look at this video right here. Look at the wind up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. She is ready to launch this thing down. Boom. Whack on the back of the head.
Yeah, she doesn't swing through like that. Like she's, I don't know, man. I'm skeptical. What do y'all think? She was
thinking about swinging again.
Yeah, she was just getting past too. I feel like you're right. All right, let's go back to. I think we got the transition working now. It's still a little glitchy. By the end of the show, it'll start working right. Yeah, let us know what you think in the chat. Yeah, I think Mo might be right. I guess she hit it on purpose. It is a high schooler. Viper says not good enough even in Pittsburgh. Limited offense. Steelers fan. Mo never Fields. You don't like Fields? Always a mediocre team. Let's at least get a quarterback with an arm that can sling it. That is what they are
Listen,
saying.
Fields look good to me in limited action. You know, again, even in Chicago, just terrible offense, terrible team. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that deal.
Shout out to Roger Collects is in the chat. What's up, Roger Collects? Thanks for hanging out with us. Let me know what you think. Let me know anybody in the chat. Did she do it on purpose? Everybody seems to think so, so your guys are probably right. Let's move on to our next topic while I wait to get some responses about that. And the next topic, of course, is politics. Let's see if the transition works. Politics. Still a little glitchy.
That's what I said, Denny. Looked just like Tanya Harding type shit. If anybody remembers that, Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding.
Oh, I definitely remember that. Why me? Is that what she was yelling when she got hit in the knee with the crowbar? Yeah, okay. Brilliant idiot thinks so. All right, so politics, of course, we're talking U.S. politics. It's been a week. I think a week these days in the Trump administration feels like a year. So there's like 800 different things we could talk about. I got like 20 different graphics up here, and we're only going to touch on like half the stuff that happened this week. So much stuff, it's ridiculous. All right, let's see what we got. If you haven't heard, apparently the markets are crashing. If you own crypto, you probably know crypto is crashing, but so are all the other markets. And right now, they are predicting a 40% chance of a recession this year. So I think it's kind of funny to say that now, or funny to think that now all the Trump people are saying that Trump is playing 4D chess. He's doing it on purpose. Instead of taking Joe Biden's economy and building on it, he's crashing it. And they keep saying he's doing it on purpose so that he can bring the interest rates down. But if you get like really deep into that whole theory about bringing the interest rates down, it doesn't work out. I think I have a graphic to show you. So this is the new one that he just said a couple of days ago. This one blew my mind a bit. So he came out in public and said, "We're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch. Just so you know, Trump is saying we're all going to be rich." So, so the economy's doing good. Trump comes into office, the economy crashes, and we're all going to be rich, y'all. I mean,
the economy wasn't doing good, but definitely not doing good now.
It was doing good in every sense of the word, whether it be GDP, unemployment. The stock market had just hit an all-time high. Trump just said, and you can see there was a whole compilation of it, we're going to have a crash, and we're going to have a crash like 1929 if Kamala gets elected, is what he told everybody. And then he
and yet
gets
nobody
elected.
could afford anything. Nobody could afford anything. We're in bigger debt, and we continue to help other people. Again, I know we're gonna fucking experience some turbulence, and we talked about this. But again, your Democratic Party is out there having emergency fucking meetings and fucking causing ruckuses too, so they don't really know what's going on either. But I'm 100% on board. I'm 100% on board with this. Because like I said, we need this shakeup. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be fair share, baby, and I'm on board for all of it.
That's not what Trump said. He didn't say we're going to crash the economy on purpose if we get into power. He said he's going to bring prices down on day one. He didn't. He is. No, he
This is how you do. This is business negotiations 101. You got to leave the table sometimes and fucking cause a mess. And watch.
So that whole
the same
idea,
way everybody else is scrambling back. Everybody else is, America, you want to do this? We're going to do this to you. And then they're like, you know what? On second thought, maybe we're not going to, increase the price on the insert fucking tariff item here. Because Canada's done it, what, 3 times now? Like, oh, yeah, you guys want to do that? We'll retaliate.
No, Trump keeps saying that he's going to put tariffs on the people like Canada and Mexico, and then he changes his mind and says, no, you got another week, and then he says he's going to do it again, and then he brings it back down, and he's kind of manipulating the markets here, especially if they know ahead of time what he's going to announce, then they can put on shorts or longs on particular stocks because they know what's getting ready to happen. So I feel like he's purposely doing it to manipulate the market, and it's just wild that they're so interested and concerned about the debt all of a sudden. Like, I talk about the debt almost every week on here when we talk about politics and how it's the deficit that leads to the debt, and it's the tax breaks for the rich that is growing the deficit, and they just raised the deficit ceiling by like $4 trillion. So if you're saving all this money and you're trying to pass a $3 trillion tax cut for the rich, then why do you need to raise the debt limit unless you want to spend more money than you have, increasing the deficit, which increases the debt? So they're not really worried about the debt. They never are really worried about the debt. They're just coming up with an excuse to give themselves more money.
I mean, they're talking about tax breaks for all of us last time I checked. And again, the 2 things that we're concerned about here is the fentanyl and the fucking immigration, right?
From Canada? I know you keep saying fentanyl from Canada.
I have family members of myself that are fucking dealing with that shit, okay? So it's a big problem.
Not from Canada. Right? It's not. It's like 0.04% of the fentanyl comes from Canada. Whereas the fentanyl in Canada, like 20% of it comes from America. It's like we provide more, we're bringing more fentanyl into Canada than they're bringing into America.
Right, and illegal immigration coming up north. Again, I was actually detained on a fucking Amtrak because they thought I was part of some immigration scheme. It was kind of funny. But again, if those numbers come down on Mexico and Canadian borders, then the tariffs will be fucking lifted. He's already said it. And if you want to charge us 20%, we're going to charge you 20%. Just makes sense. I mean, again, you know.
All right, there's plenty more to talk about. I got plenty more graphics. Let's catch up with the chat. Of course, Bruin88 thinks that this is winning, apparently. I don't know what to think, but I saw the caption of a video that shows from behind the whack and said it sheds some light on the scene. See, I need a close-up. I need a close-up on the video. Grandma Moore says, the big one for me is there was a drone attack outside of Moscow this morning by Ukraine before the meeting in Saudi Arabia. Russia stopped most of the drones. Yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all. I think Ukraine should fight back. What he says, Mo is in denial. Musk is trying to buy Wisconsin Supreme Court. What's that about? I haven't heard about that. How is that good for us? It's a good question. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to Elon. Gavin Newsom podcast with
let's just
Charlie
give
Kirk.
everything to Soros. That was a way better idea.
I don't even understand the whole Soros thing. Everything that everybody says.
But you don't understand it, bro. We talked about this. And
Yeah,
even
but-
when he tried to buy up all the fucking AM, FM radio things, because that's how the Republicans used to do their business before the elections, was on radio and old fucking media.
Right, and the
This
amount of
time they threw a
people-
curveball.
and the
This
amount of
time they threw a
people-
curveball and went fucking podcasts, and that's why they fucking won.
The amount of
'Cause
people
they
who
didn't have to
use
use that.
Twitter and Facebook compared to the amount of people who use radio is like 1,000,000 to 1. And who owns Twitter and Facebook? Trump people. Big A says, Mo's pretty happy with Trump's plan. Did he sell all his crypto? Yeah, I feel bad for all the people holding crypto because it is not done well. A lot of people on crypto Twitter are saying, Kamala would have been better for crypto, but these are the same people who were
Sure they would have been.
saying to vote for Trump in the first place. Danielle C says Trump should have
If
negotiated.
under fucking Kamala administration, it would still be illegal and fucking it would be a black market type shit. Like she said, it's used by criminals, right? She said it numerous times. But we wouldn't have had fucking crypto with that administration either. So that's a crazy fucking idea.
She said some pro crypto stuff, and so did Biden. I think I even had made graphics every time they did. It wasn't very often, but she went to like the
She
Bitcoin.
had one stance change toward the end when she thought it might be able to swing it when she realized going after fucking the men vote wasn't working out with
Well,
those commercials and those ads.
The market wouldn't have crashed under her the way it is now, so crypto wouldn't have crashed because it reacts to the market. Grandma Moore says, how the hell did Martha Stewart have to go to prison for insider trading, but Pelosi doesn't? And Martha was better with the stock market. They all doing insider trade. Why does everybody care about Pelosi in particular? They're all doing it. I don't understand why Pelosi is the one that everybody is focused on, but the reason why Pelosi...
She's got the profile out there that people track, right?
Because
There's
she
another
makes so
one,
much
too.
money, and the reason she makes so much money, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. She has all the people that track her buys. So of course, if you buy something and 100 people then buy it afterwards, you've already made money right there. It automatically goes up. So the whole Pelosi thing, but no, it should be a law that people in Congress shouldn't be able to buy stocks. They have inside
That's right.
information, but guess who gets to decide if that's a law or not? Congress, and they're the one who makes the money. I mean, Trump could pass an executive order to stop it, but he doesn't, and neither did Biden. So they're okay with the corruption. It's not a good thing. Believe me, Mo, more illegal shit comes up than down. Accurate. Just listen to Bernie Sanders' speeches. That's what a true populist sounds like. I agree. And he's been getting some huge crowds at his recent speeches. They should have ran him for president. I mean, I know they did. And then the
They
Democrats
tried.
The Democrats screwed him over. He was winning,
Yeah.
too. He was beating Hillary, and they came up with all the super delegates. Let's not go back to me arguing 12 years ago about that crap on Twitter. I used to, too. I was like, what the hell? Donna Brazil has me blocked on Twitter because of that.
It just sucks he's so old, Bernie. Because I mean, they'll never really give him any shot now. But
Yeah, he's like 800 at this point. He's not going to...
Yeah.
He's a little too old. Listen to the music
Like,
acts that open up for Bernie Sanders. I wonder who does...
me for your president.
Who opens up for Bernie Sanders? Is it like Tom Jones or somebody? My guess would be Tom Jones. She's a lady.
All unusual to be loved anymore.
Then he says, hey, Bruin88, you're winning. What, by hurting us? Us Canadians? Uh-oh, Thanu's in Canada. Yeah, Canada's not happy with us Americans right now. A lot of places aren't. Everywhere the national anthem gets played, like at these sports events, it always gets booed. I was going to have a whole section of graphics here of all the other world leaders, like talking trash about Trump lately and about how bad America is and how they're moving on without America. But there were so
Sure
many
they are.
other things to talk about. Can't keep up with it in 1 week. Bernie has 4 homes. My brother loves them and only owns a small house in Arizona. Yeah, well, I mean, he's been a politician making, what, a couple $100,000 a year for 30, 40 years. I'm sure he does have 4 homes. Dude really doesn't want to hurt Canadians. We honestly love Canada. You do. I don't know if Trump feels the same way, except for the Canadians.
Blame Canada.
I love that
Blame
song.
Canada.
Trump had a whole lot of Canadian people on his side up until he started making shit up. He should just kept to the real stats and facts. He's pushing people away one by one with some of the stuff that he does. I want to see.
Oh, there's truth to that. I mean, it goes back to the baiting the cats, baiting the dogs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think most of that, even he knew it was just like must-see TV, like he would say, right? Like with the fucking, even like The Apprentice. It's like, man, again, can never agree with everything anybody does in this world, but yeah, stick to the facts, you know?
All right, so let's move on to the next big topic in politics. It's about this Mahmoud Khalil. Do you know about Mahmoud Khalil? So this is a dude that is a graduate student at Columbia University, and he was part of the Palestine protests, and he is a green card holder. So they scooped him up, and he has disappeared. And this is a green card holder, so they've never ever before been able, or I don't think they've ever revoked the green card status of somebody without having an actual crime. I guess the crime now is protesting against Israel. So Trump dude made a tweet about it. He's saying, following my previously signed
Good
executive...
old Uncle Sank.
What's up?
Good old Uncle Sank. I just saw the
Is that what you're calling?
tweet up.
Following my previously signed executive orders, ICE proudly apprehended and detained Mahmoud Khalil, a radical foreign pro-Hamas student on the campus of Columbia University. This is the first arrest of many to come. We know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity. Here's the whole tweet if you guys want to read it, but I just want to stop right there because this is the craziest stuff of all to me. They're making it illegal to protest, and this Mahmoud dude never said anything pro-Hamas. It was all about being anti the killing of innocent people in Palestine. And if you can't protest the killing of innocent people, you're considered a criminal and you're automatically labeled as anti-Semitic for that. That just blows my mind. That's the most anti-American, anti-free speech thing that's ever happened, in my opinion. Now, why are people not more outraged by this, Mo?
Well, I mean, I've seen some videos too, and you'll probably say they're staged, where it's like people were caught saying they're being paid to be there. And again, it's not even like they're there on their own free will. They believe in it. They're just collecting a paycheck. A lot of these from NGOs that are funneled money. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got to be able to have freedom of speech. I mean, again, what do these people do? How far do they take it to the extreme? You know, I've watched.
No, they're just protesting. I mean, we see all the college protests on
campus.
campus.
That's what we see. But what are they doing behind the scenes? What are they trying to organize? What are they planning? We don't know. You know, and I think that's what they might be concerned about. Again, I've seen, Destiny.
So just think
and all
about the
these other guys go around
1960s.
Campuses.
What if in the 1960s they were like, you're not allowed to protest segregation anymore. It's against the law. We're just going to arrest people that protest segregation. I mean, that's like the opposite of what America's supposed to be about.
Yeah, in the 1960s, these people probably believed in the cause, met at a local fucking, diner, had some milkshakes, and were like, hey, let's go fucking chain ourselves to a desk. Nowadays, again, it's just money that comes from corrupt fucking individuals being funneled down, and sent to these people that don't even want to fucking be there. They're just getting paid to be there. And
nobody's getting paid to be there. Where would you sign up to even get paid? That is just the dumbest. They say that just as a deflection. That's their deflection for everything.
Not a deflection. It's live. These things are caught. The
like
same way
Elon Musk is saying, like everybody who is not with what Trump and Elon Musk are doing is paid or is lying or is a bot. I mean, he thinks that all of us are fake, and there's plenty of people that are out there protesting for real because there's people who go around and sit there and interview them, and they have completely coherent opinions on every particular topic. It's not like they're just being paid to be there. The protesters have existed since the beginning of time. Well, maybe not that long, but in America, since the beginning of America. It's not like this is a new phenomenon. Nobody's ever protested before. It would be more strange if people weren't protesting.
I'm not saying people aren't going to protest. I'm saying it's why are they there? And again, if Doge and these other organizations are finding that this money is being funneled through NGOs and other ways, and again, they're proving it day by day, and we'll get the information.
They haven't proved anything. You just said they're proving it day by day. What have they proven? I've not seen 1 ounce of proof of any fraud.
I just gave you the one last week with Endeavor. That was number 1.
That was not fraud.
That was not fraud. It went from 50 mil to 650 mil in a fucking 1 year period under the Biden administration, and nothing changed. It was a ghost building that was set up in case of need, and yet the funding went up from 50 mil to fucking 650 mil, and it never even admitted much to it. They were like, we didn't really even need the money, and they just kept on getting it again because this money is being funneled and it's being fucking used in other ways.
Who got the money though? The money was still sitting in an account. Nobody was actually spending the money. That would be the
that
fraud.
money was absolutely spent.
Who was
that
spending
money was
that?
absolutely spent.
Well,
from
you have
the
to send me.
virus.
You have to send me the link on that one. I don't know anything about it besides what you told me. I'd like to look it up.
And that came from Endeavor them damn selves. That wasn't even like a hearsay. That wasn't a fucking right wing fucking idea. That was from Endeavor themselves. So, just saying, they're uncovering it. They're exposing it, and we'll find out. You know,
we make more than Bernie Sanders, and I don't own 4 homes. I mean, that's your decision on what homes to buy and what not to buy. But I mean, he also wrote a bunch of books. He has like a bestseller book. Do you know how much money you make if you write a bestseller book? I think he has like multiple bestseller books. Same with Elizabeth Warren. People talk about how much she's worth. She has multiple best-selling books, and it's not like these people were broke whenever they got into office. Although Bernie Sanders might have been, Elizabeth Warren certainly wasn't.
ain't nobody buying these damn books. They're all sitting there somewhere with the tools that were made for the pyramids.
Nobody's
you're gonna
buying
find
the
Elizabeth.
books. What are you talking about?
Ain't nobody buying her books.
It's a bestseller.
It's a bestseller because it's being manipulated. People are out there buying it, they're burning it, they're storing them away. Ain't nobody reading that bullshit.
What? Based on what?
I don't know. That's just a fucking high idea, but it's just fucking. It sounds good. You're gonna find the fucking tools that they made for the pyramids, and then they're gonna be like, "Here's Elizabeth Warren."
This is how this is how Republicans think, bro. I'm telling you, this is literally it. What he says. I also saw the false video where the guy said he was paid to be there. Who's gonna pay one person to hold up a sign? And you could easily, if you're like some little group of crackhead MAGA folks, and you're like, oh, let's go put up a sign like we're a protester, and then I'll interview you, and you say you got paid. I mean, how easy is that to fake? It's super easy to fake. So I don't believe any of that crap. The people do protest, so pretending like all the protesters.
But when they track down the money, and when they track down where the money's coming from,
which
again,
they never do.
Well, they are actually. They are, and this is what I was trying to explain
to you.
When
in the future, just wait, right?
Just right now. Same way listen, you couldn't fucking figure out a rug pull on fucking crypto till people came out with bubble wallets and track them, right? Well, guess what? Same exact thing exists now, and that's exactly what they're using on NGOs. So this is what they're using. And again, when you trace the money and you see where it's going, people's fucking heads are gonna spin. That's all.
Yeah, soon. Hashtag soon. They named it Doge on purpose. It's supposed to be like a crypto project where everything is hashtag soon. Just wait, y'all. Keep buying and just wait. Danielle C says some of those protests were actually campus takeovers. Well, I mean, yeah.
That's true.
Shut down the entire school? No, didn't shut down the entire school. They were like taking over like the park area in the middle in most cases. They weren't like preventing anybody to go to class.
I've watched political streamers go there, and again, these people do create nuisances and do create havoc. So I mean, you know, again, how far they take it.
They protested the Vietnam War the same way. People didn't go to, well, I don't know, maybe they did go to jail for protesting the Vietnam War. I don't know.
Of course they did. But again, even back then, it was way less fucking, there was less behind the scenes going on than we have today. Because again, I don't believe that these people even believe in the cause, because when you talk to the people that are out there, and again, people even on the left, like Destiny, that go to these fucking campuses, these kids don't even know what the fuck they're there for.
Yes, they do. That's craziness.
No,
what are you talking about? You're talking about all this crazy stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and I ask you what, and like, who knows what they're planning, but no plans have came. They've never like done anything. So if they were planning something, then obviously there would have been something that came of those plans. So what makes you so sure that they're even doing this nefarious activities behind the scenes, planning stuff that you don't even know what it is and it's never happened before?
No, it is happening.
What is happening?
They're disruptors.
Disrupting what?
Disrupting the flow, and that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. The whole point is for them to be disruption at these campuses, and again,
are they being nonconformists?
What's that?
Are they being nonconformist?
Nothing to do with being a conformist. But again, you could sit there and you could find ways to do change peacefully and in a right manner.
That's what that is.
Again,
that's a peaceful protest. They're not attacking. It's not a violent protest. They were being violently attacked for peacefully protesting.
Because again, what these people are there to do, and again, if what Trump is saying is true, and I'm saying based on what he's saying, if it's true, then if they're being paid to be there and they are being agitators, they are being disruptors, then yeah, you can't have that shit going on. Because if people are paying to go there and they don't want to fucking deal with it, then they're going to get their funding pulled from either, you know, the fucking
This is
Well,
just
how-
crazy talk, dude. There's no proof that anybody's being paid just because one crazy person said that. You're basing the whole entirety of everybody's protest, just like Andretti here is protest. He's basing everybody saying they weren't organic protests. How do you think they began if they weren't organic? It's not like the media wanted them to protest. You think that people
Yes,
came
they
in-
do. The media absolutely wants them to fucking protest.
You
The
think
same way that people-
Palestinians came here to America and found some college students was like, here's $100, please protest them killing our kids?
No, absolutely not. I would believe it came more from left and right wing fucking organizations that probably have war on their mind and again want to create fucking disruption and want to keep fucking people
That's the
agitated.
thing. Everybody has a cell phone on them. If somebody was to come up to you with some crazy plan talking about, I'm going to pay you $500 to do a protest against Israel, they would have been called out. Like, nobody said anything about that. They didn't get called out. Nobody said no to their request and then called them out for it. This is just crazy. It's conspiratorial with no proof, no evidence at all, just because you don't like the fact that people don't like Israel. And I personally have never been an anti-Semitic person, but I don't like Israel at all.
Like
When
I said,
start-
bro, I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care. They can fucking get there. They can fucking talk to people. They can, as long as they're not in my way or what I'm trying to do on a day-to-day basis, then I don't really give a shit what people do.
That's what they're doing.
But again, it's not what they're doing. And again, if these people are being paid to be there, okay, if they are, I'm saying if they are, then you have to worry that these schools are going to have people that fund it, because these people, they're not funded by the government. They're getting funded by the hell they called? The people that used to go there. I didn't go to fucking...
Alumni?
Alumni, yeah. So they get like alumni funding and all this shit, right? Well, people don't like what's going on there. They're going to fucking pull their funding. And then they're not going to be able to do their fucking school shit, and then people aren't going to want to go there, and they fucking drop. I mean, we're already the lowest percentage of fucking education in the fucking world, and we spend the most money.
And we're getting rid of
And
the
we're still the
Department of
lowest.
Education.
Well, we have to, because again, we spend the most money, and we're the lowest on the fucking totem pole as far as education fucking percentages. So, why? Make it make sense. You know what I mean? Of course, we got to cut something. Cut the shit.
I think it's a lack of funding, so if we're going to make less funding, is not going to help. What he says, free speech is an inalienable right, not a privilege. Exactly. And so is protest. Like, it's in the, protest is in the Constitution, the right to assembly. Big A says, where do the ads to get paid to protest? Yeah, how would they even find out about it? Are they going door to door, knocking on people's door? I mean, because I need some extra money. Sign me up. I'll go protest and hold up a sign. I even believe in the stuff that we're protesting, but I don't know where to apply.
Listen, people like us, we sit home, we sit on the internet, we play with crypto and fucking NFTs. I know people that actually are activists, okay, when I lived on the West Coast, and the fucking inner circles and shit these people would fucking find themselves in, the people they talk to and that I met briefly, it's a whole different world. So you will find these fucking ways to get fucking paid, and you will find these fucking these outlets. I'm telling you, man, it's not the world that we live in.
And I mean, I feel like there would be whistleblowers, like somebody would eventually call them out with proof. It'd be easy to prove if they're texting you and making these offers, if they're emailing you, if they're paying you, then you have a check. It's just, it seems like most of the MAGA stuff is all just conspiracy with no proof. Sign up on the dark web. There you go. Get in on the dark web. You might be able to become a paid protester. Let's move on to the next politics topics. We have 100 of them. So yeah, this new thing just happened too. During the State of the Union address, Donald Trump referred to Elon Musk as the head of Doge, but in the court filings, all the court filings, and some press release that the White House put out last week, they said that Elon Musk is not the head of Doge for legal reasons. But now Elon Musk himself, in a recent interview he did on Fox Business, is again calling himself the head of Doge. What the hell is going on with that? I mean, there's obviously some shady stuff happening if he can't legally call himself the head of Doge, but when it comes to public, he always does call himself the head of Doge. Why do they need to do all this? They named some other, when the court asked him who is the head of Doge then, they named some lady, I don't know who she is, but apparently she didn't even know about it. She was on vacation in Mexico at the time.
I mean, again, Trump doesn't really give a shit. It goes back to the Chappelle skit. Republicans come out and they go, this is exactly what we're doing. We go back to doing it. We all know Elon's the fucking one that came up with it because he fucking had the idea and gave it to Trump. And Trump was like, oh, I'm going to take him up on it.
So they're
You know
just
what I mean?
allowed
So-
to lie to the courts?
Whatever, bro. It's fucking...
Whatever.
Again, we're going to worry about fucking semantics of fucking
Law and order,
paperwork. The
baby.
guy doesn't need to fucking... Yeah, the guy doesn't need to fucking sit there and run Doge. But he does need to be the guy that's fucking putting people in place because I still stand by it. He's the fucking smartest man probably to ever live outside of probably Tesla. So there you go.
Rob T says the protesters don't get checks. Of course, it has to be untraceable. So they're probably getting crypto, Sign me up, man. I know how to.
They're getting paid on Gcash and fucking pesos.
Getting paid in pesos? Yeah, a whole lot of pesos. Danielle C says, my aunt was a professional protester, not saying she was paid, but she made a living without working a day. Oh, interesting.
There you go.
Sure. All
like
right.
I said, man, in our world, we're not going to uncover shit like this. And anybody that's probably in here in chat probably doesn't live in that world either. But you start meeting chicks that don't fucking shave their armpits and haven't showered in fucking 2 weeks and fucking they're out there fucking dying for the cause. Listen, it's a whole different ballgame.
He's not even saying she was paid or anything. She might have been living on Social Security or something, which
that's exactly what
going
Danny
pretty
was
soon
saying.
too. All right, next one is about Elon Musk's claim of 20 million deceased people still receiving Social Security benefits. He says that there's people that are under the age of 11 that are getting small business loans, and that people that are 300 years old are getting Social Security checks. But of course, you can look up any type of fact-checking service or check the facts yourself, and you'll see that the figures that they're referring to are outdated Social Security numbers, not active payments. They can never find any payments that actually went out fraudulently. They're just not understanding the data in the databases that they're reading, because they're old databases because it's not well funded. Not millions, only thousands face improper payments due to the SSA oversights. Yet Musk's reckless hyperbole, amplified by this ex-post, fuels panic among the vulnerable, all to push his unelected billionaire agenda as Trump's Doge co-head. And I think they're kind of referring to Joe Rogan's interview with him recently, where he said that Social Security is a pyramid scam, which is crazy. They're talking about all this money that they're trying to save, which is like 10,000 here and 8,000 here and 100,000 here from USAID. But Trump's already spent over $18 million just on playing golf in the last 6 weeks. Does that bother you at all, or it's just like, we'll cut off all the humanitarian aid, and we'll cut off cancer research, and we will no longer fight against Ebola in other countries, but we'll let Trump golf for like 10 times the amount of money that costs.
I mean, I'm gonna need to see some fucking golf receipts, because I'm sure if he walks onto a course, he's just playing for free. Ain't nobody charging his ass.
No, Mo, are you
Please.
crazy? No, you can all look this information up. Not only is he being charged, he's being overcharged on purpose because it's at his own resorts. He's getting the money. He's paying himself with taxpayer money from all of his own outings. This is what he did the first term too. This was like a big scandal, but people on the right don't even hear about it because they're in this little bubble. Like, it's all a big scam. I told you he was a con man.
I mean, again, I'm looking at some left-wing articles. You're giving me right-wing articles. I'm gonna need some proof.
Give me some articles. I'm down to look up whatever you want. You know what,
not,
y'all? This is what I want to do.
arguing it.
Next week, let Mo do the politics section. You pick the topics. You could even do the screenshots, and we'll see how that goes. Because, look, any of this information is easy to find on your own. I mean, this is all factual information. He did spend over $18 million, and that isn't even counting... was he at like the Daytona 500 and he rode around the track and did all this? That was like millions of dollars in its own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing two little articles here again that says, pay for more access. I'm not really seeing any concrete evidence on that either. But I mean, listen, we picked the topics of shit that happens. I mean, again, the only thing I really gave a shit about from this week coming out of politics was the fact that your party is the one that had to have emergency meetings. And in sports, if your team's on the good and you guys are all on the same page, you don't need emergency meetings. So y'all got to get your shit together. So you can say whatever you want about the right wing and the bubble, blah, blah, blah,
Brother,
blah, blah.
we're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. There should be emergency meetings. They're trying to figure out how to stop the takeover
on your
of our
side,
government.
because your side can't get along with each other, and that's the fucking problem. Wasn't
there just a shouting match between Elon Musk and Rubio, whatever his name is, Marco Rubio, just a few days ago? A shouting match between them in the Oval Office. So what are you talking about us not getting along?
Listen, no one of them says tempers aren't going to flare up, but they're not holding emergency meetings being like, oh, we're in disarray. Who even runs the fucking Democrat? Who's the face of the Democratic Party right now? No one even knows.
No, that's not.
I'd probably say it's going to be
Better
Newsom or what's his
con
face from
man.
Pennsylvania? Was it Shapiro? I hope it's one of those two. And listen, at the end of the day, I don't even think the shakeup, if anything, I just hope that the left can get their shit together. That's it. And if they do, and they get a good fucking candidate, maybe even somebody like Newsom or fucking Shapiro, hey, you might be able to win my vote, but you got to say and do the right things. You know what I mean? And we'll see what the next
one of them.
couple.
I don't like Newsom at all. They're all establishment candidates. The Democratic Party is weak, and they're going to stay weak because they were not going to give up their money.
Right now. That's going to be the top two candidates right now. So
yeah, they're not populist enough, and they won't be populist enough because then they would have to sacrifice all the money they get from lobbyists, and they don't want to do that. Viper Active says, is he playing with gold balls? You already know he is. Where's Trump playing Pine Valley every day? I mean, it's his own resorts. He overcharges on purpose because he's the one that gets the money. Don't y'all understand that? He did that for his hotels too. He would make the Secret Service stay at his hotels and then charge them like 3 times the regular rate because he gets the money. This is his way of fleecing taxpayers because it's taxpayer
And if you take
money.
the receipts up against the fucking old Democratic Party, they were probably paying 5 times the amount. They're like, hey, you know what?
It's not
Let's
their
just-
hotels.
Let's just tip them an extra $50 million. You know what I mean?
What? So just
Yeah.
oh my god.
I'm just saying. What the Boeing deal, right? That was a legit deal.
I'll bring receipts for this next time. I thought everybody knew that already. He did it the entire first term. This was a big story. Grandma Moore says the issue with the Social Security is the default they use in the system. For example, no proven birth year. They typed in 1874. The system needs reviewed. Yes, exactly. I'm glad to hear that Grandma Moore understands what's happening in this case. And the problem was they're using outdated systems, and they haven't taken the time to hire people to update the system because they have a lack of funding, like most government programs, because Republicans choke all the funding out of the government so that they can pass big tax breaks for the rich. That's their whole entire game plan, and that's what they're doing right now. Woody says the coding for the Social Security program has a default case of 1875 of a birthday. Yes, well, you understand that, Woody. Grandma Moore understands that. The smartest man in the world, Elon Musk, does not understand that.
We probably understand that the system has to be reworked, and who better to do it?
Not him. Who? Please tell me. Not Elon Musk. What's special? What way? In what way does he specialize in this type of work? Not at all. Not even a little. Maybe he has big balls do it. His guy big balls, but Musk is not that
again,
dude.
This guy's done a lot more than any of us, so. You know.
If I inherited $100 million or however much,
I know you
he
keep saying that.
We'd all be rich, homie. That's how it's set up in America. That's probably why he came to America. Viper Actor says,
let's not lie. We would have put it in the fucking OMI. We would have lost it all.
I mean, maybe 4 years ago. I'm not gonna lie, but I would blame it on David Yu though. It's all his fault. Viper says people are probably saying it costs as much because of the Secret Service, and if he wasn't golfing, no matter what he is doing, Secret Service is there. Yes, that brings up the price. Yeah. People argue just like the two of you are arguing right now. That's America. If all it's time for you to run for office in Indiana, do you not know anything? But then when I see Ron,
I give him a big old hug.
Do you know
at the end of the day,
anything about Indiana, bro? I would be the last person to run for office here. They would throw me out of the state. I would be banished. We want to see your picture on lawns across Indy. Never that, sir. I'm too left-wing for Indy. I'm not doubting. I want to see receipts for all claims here, not just political opinions. See, I add all these graphics so that I have receipts. But in some cases, it's like, this is a fact that everybody already knows. This is like a well-established fact. I don't know I needed receipts for that. I thought everybody knew that. Look it up right now, Google, for anybody who's watching. How much money does Trump charge Secret Service to stay in his hotels, or how much does he charge to go golfing? And then who gets that money? It's him. He gets the money, and he charges more than regular guests. If not Elon, according to the left, it has to be someone elected. Well, according to the right, it's the unelected bureaucrats that are a problem. But what is Elon if he's not an unelected bureaucrat? That's literally what he is. Big A says it's sad that Mo thinks Tesla and Musk are smartest ever, not even like top 100. I think Musk is a moron. He just said, he was repeating the other day, talking about how the reason that Democrats don't like his changes is because they want all the illegal immigrants to vote for him. It's like, that's so stupid. Illegal immigrants can't vote. And like, why would illegal immigrants come here to vote for Democrats? They don't know nothing about our political system. They're just coming here to get jobs and to eat food. They don't, it's like, it's just none of it makes sense.
The American dream.
Yes, the American dream, exactly. Grandma Moore says the Social Security example is why the federal workforce needs visited along with the contracts. I mean, I think the Social Security limit that people have for going into the Social Security, once you reach $150,000 a year, you no longer pay Social Security taxes, and that's why some of the Social Security funds that are being held back are being depleted, and people are worried that's going to go bankrupt. But if you just raise that cap a little bit, it would fix the whole entire problem. But rich people don't want to pay more because they say we don't need Social Security because we're rich. But who knows what'll happen? Maybe you go bankrupt. What's up, California Comics? Good to see you, my man. I've been digging your VVverse videos or your pictures of the comic book store you're building in there. Looks pretty dope. Maybe it's time to move on.
I saw that. That was California Comics, right? That shit was dope.
Yes, it is dope. Yeah, people are actually making purchases from his VVverse store.
Yeah, it's neat.
Rob T says maybe it's time to move. I looked into how much or what I would have to do to become a citizen of Norway. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. They got some pretty blonde girls over there, though.
They don't want Americans. They'd be like,
Yeah.
what do you bring to the table?
That's
They
like
want-
that's like a Mexican trying to get into America is the equivalent of me trying to get into Norway. We don't want you. We're trying to build a wall to keep you out. All right, hold on. Let's move on to our next political topic. Like I said, there's a lot, and we're not even going to cover half of the stuff that happened. Okay, well, what about this new thing? There are actually more kids in Texas with measles than there are trans college athletes in all of America. Measles is back, y'all. Shout out to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. People don't want to get vaccines anymore. They think they're all bad. So now measles is making a comeback. Mo, are you vaccinated for measles?
Yeah, I had all that stuff growing up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene who had a tweet about how they used to have measles parties where they would purposely get all their kids together to get them all sick with measles so that they build up some...
Yeah. Chickenpox parties was the thing back in my day.
What?
Yeah.
I guess we're going back to that now.
Well, yeah. So
rubella
the
coming
thought
back?
process was if you wanted to get chickenpox at a young age, right? Because if you get them when you're older, there's something like scabby. What the fuck is it called? Something
Yeah,
else.
I heard that before, yes.
Yeah. So like if if one kid had chickenpox in the neighborhood and all the other kids that never had it, their parents would like drop them off there for the weekend. Like, all right, just stay here until you get it.
That's so messed. I feel like that's cruel.
Well, no, because I mean, again, your body just has to, get it, build the immunity, and then you're good, right? Man, if you get it when you're younger, the immunity is stronger, from what they said, right? Science, and
Or you could just
I don't
get the vaccine and not get it at all. Or no? Is that a bad idea?
chickenpox? I don't know for chickenpox. It's shit, I don't even know.
Danielle C says, we as Canada pay 50% of any capital
Shingles,
gains.
yeah,
How
thank you,
messed up
Larry.
is that, and how much more do they want? If the rich would pay their fair share, you wouldn't have to pay as much.
Well,
Basically.
that's where I'm as far left as it gets.
Yeah, that's
Just like I say to the rest of the world, pay your fair share, dude. So if you're making fucking $1 million, you should be paying the same percentage as someone that makes 100K, right? Just pay the percentage. More you make, the more they take, right? And we all move along.
That's how it should
Personally,
be, but that's the problem right now. One of the biggest problems in America. So Rob T is
Yeah.
talking about chickenpox parties, and Viperactive is not feeling it. A pox party. I mean, yeah, I heard about people doing that, but I was not involved in that. Shout out to Bitcoin BM Dubs in the chat. What's up, Bitcoin BM Dub? Shingles. Do y'all even know about shingles? I got shingles when I was like in the middle school, and the doctor acted like that was like super unique. Usually old people get shingles, but
Yeah.
I got it when I was in middle school. I was out for out
Wow.
of school for like a week. It was weird. It didn't really hurt or anything. I was just kind of groggy, and I had a little bit of a rash. Chickenpox parties definitely was a thing for me. Biggest bro was actually at one of the chickenpox parties. Do you feel like your parents don't love you if they took you to those parties? I mean, I guess they're doing it for your own good. It just don't seem wrong. It don't seem right to purposely get your kids
Well,
sick.
In my household, it was easy. And I think most of the parents around us did the same thing. They were like, oh, well, don't you want to get chickenpox so you don't have to go to school for a few days? You can sit home and watch movies and eat ice cream. Like, you know what I mean? They basically just made it sound as good as it possibly could. Like, sit home with your Nintendo.
So
you
they
know?
manipulated you. Okay.
Of course, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Rob T says,
Early manipulation tactics, right? We talk about this, right? First, your parents manipulate you, then they drop you off into the school system, and then they brainwash you and manipulate you. And then you move on to the real world where your bosses and the government try to do the same thing. It's a never-ending fucking story. But
that's the story of our lives, yeah. And apparently, I mean, maybe Mo and Biggest Bro's parents loved them by taking them to their chickenpox parties, but I don't think Rob T's did. Not only did he take them to a chickenpox party, afterwards he would slap his chickenpox cheeks and tell them to tough it out. Eat some cake.
eat some cake.
That's messed up, Rob T.
I do love cake, though.
I'm sorry
I
you
do
had to
love
go through
cake.
that, sir. Percentages should be consistent for all. If that was what we did, if that was the legit reality and we did that, we wouldn't have any problems at all. I mean, I think they said something like $200 billion is how much it would cost to end poverty in America. And Elon Musk has like $80 trillion. Like, bruh, that's pocket change. Why don't you just end poverty to show that? I mean, then you would have everybody on your side. Like, why? It doesn't even make sense that he wouldn't just do that just so that he can get his evil plans through. You know what I mean? Bitcoin BMW had a pox party too, but we're all owed. We're going to tell this to our grandkids one day, and they're going to think we're crazy. But y'all are right. I remember them doing. I didn't go to one. I think I was vaccinated. I don't know. Maybe I did when I was a baby. I think I did have chicken pox when I was a baby. I think there's old pictures of it. Let's see.
Now, the question is, will we be telling our grandkids through a human form, or is it going to be like the show Upload, and we're in like a Neuralink fucking conscious fucking state? in a digital capsule.
Well, I mean, maybe or maybe not, but the whole reason I have this YouTube channel is so that in the future, my offspring can come back and create an AI of me using all these old videos, and then they can ask me anything they want, and they'll get all my liberal, left-wing, and crypto opinions. I don't know. Let's see. AS is talking
That'd be
here.
fucked up if they misconstrued me and you in the recording.
Oh no, please don't. Please don't get us mixed up. We gotta mix it.
And they wound up
OGMO.
making you like a full-blown right-wing fucking conservative.
Please, no. Yeah, this new thing that Trump wants to do is now kick out 240,000 Ukrainian refugees out of the country. I mean, these people hate Ukraine. I think it was Elon Musk who just got his Twitter hacked, or he just got the whole website hacked, and he's saying it was Ukraine that hacked him, which is complete BS. Showed no proof whatsoever. I don't believe it at all. But what are they not working with Russia, bro? It's so obvious that they're working with Russia at this point. Like the way they are demonizing Ukraine and Zelensky just for Putin's gain.
How's that mineral deal looking?
They're trying to get that mineral. Elon wants them that lithium or whatever it is. Back when you could beat your kids down. I mean, you still can. You just got to make sure they don't tell nobody. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, I don't have kids, so I think I can legally say this. I believe that every parent or every kid should come with like one get out of jail free card. Now, I don't mean like beat the crap out of your kid. I don't ever condone that. But there should be like one open hand. It's like one open hand across the side of the head or the face. You know what I mean? Like, or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, for me, it was my dad hitting me on the ass with one of the, the Christmas wrapping papers.
Yes, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah. So he took that and just one whack on my ass, dude. As I was fucking guy. Told him to go fuck himself, and I like ran by or some shit. And he was I never seen him so mad, dude. And he did this thing and just wound up like fucking Ken Griffey Jr., dude.
That does not sound very painful, bro. My mom had a big wooden paddle with hose in it to stop the wind resistance. Literally, big thick paddle had hose in it so that when you swing it, there was no wind resistance. You could get as much speed as possible. Literally. I'm
not gonna dox names because I don't know the statute of limitations. But growing up, we had a fucking friend of mine, and his parents had 3 kids, and they had these paddles called the Enforcer. They had the Enforcer 1, Enforcer 2, and the Enforcer 3, and they were all different lengths. So if one kid was bad, they got the Enforcer 1. If 2 kids were acting up together, they lined them both up. Man, we just get so out of hand. They created the Enforcer 4 for when I was there, dude.
Scary.
And I turned around, I'm like, you hit me with that shit? You got some problems with my dad. My dad known to go after people with crowbars and shit.
Yeah, we have this problem sometime with YouTube where certain comments don't show up, and we can't exactly figure out why. It's not even saying stuff that's controversial or saying bad words, but it will just randomly not show up. So that's one reason why we have the chat up here above Mo's head. So if you don't see your comment pop up in that chat, feel free to retype it in. Maybe try to space some words out. Maybe there's a controversial word in there. We really don't understand why they do that. It seems like they do that to my chat more than anybody else. So I don't know if David Yu's in charge of the YouTube channel. Piper says you'd have everyone stop working and put their hands out. Saw it during COVID. If what?
Yeah, you're damn right.
I mean, they're all going to stop working anyway because AI is taking everybody's jobs eventually. Now, that is a child abuse.
Hey, whose fault is that? Democrats.
How's that the Democrats' fault?
Because they were the ones that started doing all the tax credits to the businesses that were investing into automation. So, in theory, you can look back at it and say, well, they actually paid for their own demise because they get everything to be taken over by computers, and we saw it, from checkout lines, right? It's just going to get worse. But I mean, yeah, but that was a legit tax credit they were getting to invest in automation. So, yeah, they basically going to filter out the human workers by any means necessary at this point.
And it's the Democrats' fault apparently. Rob T says it's me.
At least in that regard, but
it is not me. I do not filter out anything. I do have some words filtered from an old troll I had. So if you say anything that has to do with like pilot or planes, a lot of that stuff is filtered. I need to go back and take that out. I had some weird troll when I first started streaming where I had to filter out a bunch of weird words. It's a long story.
Listen, if I can chat in Bolt's chat, anybody can chat in Bolt's chat.
Yeah,
right?
Mo can get away with it. You can get away with it. And the last thing I have for politics, big shout out to the genius Elon Musk. Another one of his Starship exploded. I'm sure you guys saw the footage of that. I think it's something like 5 out of 10 of his spaceships have blown up, and he gets a lot of tax money. He gets a lot more tax money than USAID spends. And what does he do with it? Just blowing stuff up in the sky.
I mean, that's how you get shit done.
I mean, trial and
Gotcha.
error is true, but then you have him arguing with Mark Kelly and calling Mark Kelly a former astronaut a traitor, and then all these other astronauts saying that Musk is lying about how the government needs him to go and rescue these astronauts, that he completely made that story up. Like, this dude is a crazy person, man. He's
I
crazy.
mean, the fact is that and maybe it's not true, but all signs point to they left them up there as political pawns, and that seemed weird to me. And again, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's just the way it kind of looked to me, because they could have went up there and gotten them, but they didn't. They chose not to.
The
for whatever
astronauts
reason.
themselves say that's not true. I trust the astronauts' opinion on it, rather than some people that are known for lying, trying to politicize a topic on purpose.
But when they were up there and they needed to come home and be rescued, then why weren't they rescued?
There's a whole story behind it, but I mean, I didn't look that deep into it. But they did explain why. I mean, there's interviews and articles written about it, so I don't have all the details about it. But I would expect that most people would believe that the astronauts themselves that are up there right now in outer space would be the ones that have the most accurate information about why they're in outer
What's going on
space.
behind the scenes? How would they know if shit's getting manipulated behind the scenes to keep them up there as
They're
political pawns?
astronauts. They're getting all the
They'd be the
information.
last person to know. They'd be the last people to know.
No, they're like
If
engineers.
you're an actor,
I
listen,
mean,
if you're an actor, you don't know what the fuck's going on with the director.
that's a big difference between an actor and an astronaut, Mo. Astronaut is part of the team. They're part of that whole mission that they're doing. They have to know all the details.
Not when they're
at
stranded
all
up in
times.
space.
All right. Well, I'm not an astronaut, so. All right. Let's move on to gaming, because, believe it or not, that is the last thing I have in politics. However, there's still like 100 different things that happened this week that we didn't even touch on. So let's move on.
Our show. Lock in, chat. Political power hour. Let's go.
Shoot, we've done that before, like a full politics episode. It was like election night. All right, I don't have anything particular on Web3 gaming, but I think Mo has a game he was going to talk about.
Yeah, maybe just the topic as a whole. Can you fill the silence here for about 20 seconds? Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. I'll catch up with the chat. Grandma Moore says they are not happy. Have you seen them? Who are we talking about is not happy exactly? What were we just talking about? They're not happy. Have you seen them? It was something on politics that we were just talking about. Ooh. Sometimes I can't remember what I was just talking about 2 or 3 minutes ago, especially when I done switched the scene. My whole mind had changed from politics to Web3 gaming. But I probably disagree. I usually disagree with Grandma Moore. Although today I've been agreeing with her a lot. So maybe not. Somebody's not happy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're about to do the Web3 gaming topic of the night. Mo is getting some coffee or something. I'm not sure. Thomas says, but the astronauts were on camera in a recent interview day. Otherwise, or was that a fake video? I mean, the interview I was talking about, I don't think was yesterday. You might be talking about a new interview that I haven't seen yet. I try to keep up with current events. It's hard on Twitter, man. You go to the For You tab and half the stuff you see is porn and the other half is, well, maybe they just know what I like. Oh, so the astronauts were happy. I think Grandma Moore is talking about the new interview. Yeah, I haven't seen it myself, so I don't know anything about it. They were not happy about something. I don't need to get into the details, but I definitely don't believe anything Elon Musk says. Don't forget, next Tuesday, Vault is a Funko NFT drop on Dropio, 2 p.m. Though so may be a bad time for you. How much are those retail? And what's the drop? Mo, do you own any Funko NFTs?
I do not. I looked into it at one point, but
I hear they sell out their drops and with like 50,000 editions.
Yeah, because they normally have like the chasers, right? And I think that's where BB kind of took a good page out of the playbook.
Right.
Was getting like the couple, whether it be, get the one with black shoes and get a special physical chaser, or whatever the case might be. I need to do a good job of that. I'm pretty sure Funko probably might lead the way in that charge as far as that goes. Because anytime I used to check in on their drops, I was like, damn, that's pretty neat. I might go for that, even though I don't care about the IP.
I might check it out. Depends on what's dropping.
it's
Rob says
cool,
$30 premium packs come with 17 cards, and $10 premium packs are $9.99. Funko has cards. I thought they were collectibles or like figurines, the same way BB.
No, they're like trading cards.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Not as
But
interested.
sometimes you'll get like a certain one that'll be redeemable for a Funko.
I bet that's a really rare Funko, like a physical one. You probably sell for a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what Rob T just said. You can open them for a physical
That's
Funko
kinda cool. I
redeemable.
might check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But yeah, as far as Web3 gaming, didn't really have anything new this week. But I will tell you this, and I don't know. I think a lot of us here are from the U.S. But all right, so I told you guys about Fishing Frenzy, right? Which is like a mobile fishing game. And it's like a passive play to earn game. They got fishing. They have like a Dave the Diver type game where you dive in and get resources. It's they also have like a little, looks like a RuneScape type mode, a Stardew Valley. So I'm spinning my slots. I had my monthly kickback was like $200, right? And I'm playing. I got this new little thing I do with the certain slots, and I do the bonus buys kind of. I pay the extra for the chance. And I was like, you know what? If I hit for 500, I'm gonna buy the fishing game because I don't really have the expendable money like that right now. And fucking shit, right? I hit for like 900.
Nice.
I was like, all right, well, I gotta keep. I'm a man of my word, right? So, all right, easy, right? Okay, cool. Let's look it up. It's on the Ron network, the Ronin, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Not a big deal, right? I'll just bada bing, find a way to, bridge some funds over. Okay, cool. Link my Phantom on, was it like Liquid Swap, I think it's called? Link my Phantom, link my fucking, the Ronin extension wallet, right, that they have?
Yep.
Cool. Use Solana, switch it over. Now I'm on USDC from Solana, back to USDC on Ronin, okay? Not a problem. Cost me maybe, I don't know, 4 cents in gas fees, okay?
Nice. Yep.
All right, cool. Now I go and I try to buy the fishing pass, which at the time was $416. Okay, wow. Obviously we got a crypto crash coming down, all this stuff, right? It's actually the cheapest it ever was like 400, so it was actually a pretty good buy, and it ran up to like 800 at one point. So I just really like fishing games, and it reminds me of Stardew Valley a lot, so I just want to be involved. And I think I can make enough money on the game just from fishing with passive income to make that back. Anyway, so now I got USDC on Ronin. Hit the buy button. We're sorry, you don't have enough Ron coin to approve the fucking spending cap. Oh, okay.
Is that like the gas fee or something?
Yeah, it's just a native coin on the chain, right? The Ronin coin, the Ron coin.
Yep.
But you have to approve a spending cap to go in there. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just buy it. I'll just bridge it somewhere. I'll buy it somewhere, or whatever the case might be, right, dude? I spent fucking hours. I used every AI. I'm going down rabbit holes of fucking Twitter posts. Everything's telling me to use this Katana swap. It gives you free 5 trades per day with no Ron. But that was just for that was for the trade, not the approval of the spending cap. Okay? So in order to approve the spending cap, which was currently 0 at default, I have no Ron. Anyway, dude, I tried everything, and I can't, in the US, I can't use like Binance, and I can't use these other things that would allow me to buy Ron natively and then send it on that network.
Is it because you're in New York? I know New York has special rules.
Well, it's not only New York, but it's US in general, which now makes me question, do I want to even play this game? Because if I'm gonna have issues being in the US, like I did on World Shards, I have $1,700 locked up on that game where I made the legendary island, right?
Yep.
I made all that money. I can't even withdraw it. Because in New York, I have no fucking withdrawal capability.
That's ridiculous.
They sure as hell took my fucking money, but I can't
you live
withdraw.
close to a lot of other states, though. Can't you withdraw to another state?
Nope, because I KYC with my New York ID, and even if I try to use a VPN, they instantly detect my VPN, and I actually got a strike or a warning on my account because I use a VPN.
Yeah,
so I have to be very, very careful. Yeah, it's very, very bad. But anyway, so fast forward now to this fishing fucking frenzy. Bro, trying to get fucking Ron coin, and I'm like, well, how the fuck am I going to do this? Apparently, if you live in, like, the Philippines, you can use Gcash. So I tried to, like, VPN a fucking Philippines fucking address, a phone number, make an account, because you can buy this shit on the Gcash fucking app or something. All I could find on it, dude. And long story short, I could not fucking get Ron coin. So now I'm like, well, fuck, let me just withdraw my money back, right, to Solana.
Yep.
Nope, I need Ron coin to do the swap.
Jeez.
So, dude, my last ditch effort. I know that Polygon and Shitmatic had like faucets where you can just get like a trickle amount every now and then for a gas fee, you know?
Oh yeah.
They don't exist. So my last ditch effort, I went into the Fishing Frenzy Discord. And I don't want to get banned, but I was just like, hey, having a problem buying the thing, need a small amount of RON for approval. I'm like, is there a faucet, you know, anything for RON like that available, right? Thank God one of the mods was chill. He was like, oh, you just need a little bit of RON for the transaction? And he's like, yeah, hit me up with your wallet. So he sent me like, whatever, 50 cents worth of RON. And then I took that and I bought like $5 worth of RON just so I don't have that issue again.
Right.
I should have gas fees for lifetime.
Yep.
And now I got to decide, do I want to buy the fishing pass or do I just not even want to take the chance after dealing with that? But I know it's a long-winded story and I apologize, but it leads me to my point. How far are we from true mainstream Web3 gaming? Because that, like, bro, I'm very tech savvy.
Right.
Okay. And for me, I was actually at the point where I was like actually frustrated. Like I wanted to punch something. And I don't really get like that when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, normies are definitely not going to go through all that. So, I mean, it's going to depend on how easy blockchains are, not just how fast they are, how much gas fees they have. You got to have a blockchain that's easy to manipulate. That's the good part about VV, because it's easy to understand and easy to get into and easy to get your money out of. But that's what you need for people that are getting new to the whole industry. Shout out to Kid Arcade's in the chat. What's up, Arcade?
Kid Arcade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying, though, man? Like, that whole experience, and that was like a 3-hour endeavor, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was when I was trying to buy Omi the first time. It was a learning experience.
Well, that's why I gave up on crypto. Yeah. Like, my boy from Ohio, who made a shit ton of money on Doge originally, and then SHIB, you know, he told me about Doge. I tried to get the buy-in through, was it Robinhood? And it failed because they weren't supposed to take the New York orders or some shit, so they canceled everything. Never even got the order through. And he was like, bro, you got to learn this shit. I got this SHIB coin, blah, 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 blah. And I remember said to my girl and my uncle, and I was like, it was saying that, I'm like, I'm going to figure this shit out because I'm going to make a fucking million. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I started diving into it. And think about that, because SHIB was so easy. You know, especially for me, I could have just VPN'd it, could have went onto a central exchange, you know, decentralized exchange rather, and just fucking, you know, swapped it out, right? Could have made so much money.
Yep.
But I was so overwhelmed by it as a normie back then. This is like 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago now. And I in trouble or something. And then fast forward like a year and a half, and that shit would have been worth like fucking $500,000, like $440,000.
Yeah, that's sad.
And, you know, and my boy made a shit ton of money on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel about Bitcoin. Like, I remember people talking about it back in the day, and I looked into it. I'm a computer science major at the time. I was in college, and I was like, I mean, it makes plenty of sense, but I think everything's a scam, so I didn't buy any. And, of course, looking back now, I'm like, oh, my God, if I would have bought it back then, it was like $20 a Bitcoin. But,
dude. My boy Vox, Mike, you know, he was all about it, and I used to work with him, for him as his main mod, you know? And he was like, dude, he's like, I got this fucking Bitcoin. He's like, we got to figure out a way to integrate it into, you know, donations, blah, 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 blah. And this is back during the time when that guy spent like, what, like $1 million on pizza, 20 million on pizza, what it fucking turned out to be.
Yeah, the Bitcoin pizza.
This is like during those times. You know what I mean?
We done got the chat riled up. We mentioned Omi. They're going crazy now. We should have never done that. I apologize.
You know what I'm saying? But, my first take on it was like, digital currency, imaginary currency. I'm like, what are you, fucking crazy? Yeah. I'm like, bro, I don't even have real money, and you want me to fucking play with fake money?
Right.
Look at me now. Exactly. Fucking out here with virtual horses, which, by the way, 2 of my horses sold out last month on the breeding barn. That was crazy.
I saw you tweet at least about one of them. Yeah, congratulations. It's big money.
Actually, yeah, only the ones. Yeah, the one got 33, I believe. Sorry.
All right, let's move on to our last topic of the night, which is crypto. Let me move over to our crypto scene.
Oh, God. More depressing talk, chat.
Oh, man, crypto is super depressing right now. Here's the market from whenever I was creating these graphics about 2 or 3 hours before we went live here. Bitcoin dropped below 80K yesterday. Solana was below 120 yesterday. There's Omi for everybody to cry about. Brett is down to under 3 cents.
No.
Also was looking at the World Liberty financial portfolio. More than half of it is in Ethereum. So I think it was Eric Trump tweeted about how you should, now's a good time to get into Ethereum again the other day. I don't necessarily know that I would believe Eric Trump, and a lot of the ETH heads are saying that that's the next thing to blow up, and it's got a long way to go because its all-time high was, what was it, 37,000, and now it's at 19,000. So, I mean, it's only a 2x. I like the small cap stuff anyway, but if you're putting in big money.
The crazy thing about ETH, I don't know if you saw the chart, but there was a graphic, and every time that Bitcoin crossed 100K, ETH was lower.
Oh, yeah.
So that money was clearly going, from the ETH heads over to Bitcoin, right? Trying to get in.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens next time when Bitcoin reaches 100K.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next bull run to see what happens there. Daniel C says, the first time I heard of Bitcoin was the Silk Road days. I'd never heard of this Silk Road underground internet, dark web, I guess is what it's called. I mean, like I said, I'm a computer science major. I was like literally a hacker on AOL. I have tons and tons of hacking stories. I don't even want to get into it, even though statute of limitations has passed.
Phishing scripts.
Yes, I mean early on, and I never heard of the dark web or anything about it until just a few years ago. I mean, if I knew about it at the time, I would have got my weed from it. I probably would have known about Bitcoin then. I probably would have a bunch of money. I wish I knew about the Silk Road back then. I had no idea. I guess it was a Canada thing. And also, a lot of people have been talking about Disney X Fortnite. This could have went into the Web3 gaming topic, but it's really got the Omi homies hyped up because, of course, Disney is the biggest brand on VV. Now, I'm wondering if this Disney X Fortnite mode that is going to be linked to in real life Disney parks, is this the same thing as the Disney X Epic Games project that they've been working on? I don't think it is, but Epic Games is related to Fortnite. I feel like Disney and Epic Games are working to build a real metaverse. I don't know if this is what they're talking about, but how do you think, Mo, that they're going to link this with in real life parks?
I mean, there's a couple different ways they can do it. It could just be some sort of like membership app where it's like, acknowledges like, hey, scan your QR code if you completed this mission. Then when you get home, you uplink it to your video game or whatever that you're doing, and it's like it recognizes. Yeah, like unlock a skin because you did something at the park, or maybe you beat the video game and now you go to the park. And I just want to tell my girl all the time, right? Like she's gonna want to borrow my VV account one day because I'm gonna have like the Back to the Future or something or whatever, and she's gonna be at the park at Universal or some shit, and they're gonna have like, oh, if you own this NFT,
right, and
you have AR, glasses on or whatever, you're gonna have a whole different experience as opposed to someone that doesn't own it,
Yep. Yeah, and I just thought about it. If I would have thought about it earlier, I'd have the graphics on there, but I think we actually pulled it up a couple months ago where somebody found a patent that Disney had released where it's talking about digital collectibles and the park, where if
yes,
you remember that?
Yep.
What were they talking about in that patent? It was something like if you stand at a particular place inside of Disneyland or whatever, and you have a certain app that it unlocks some digital collectible that then gets delivered into your account.
Yeah, it's almost like again, like a scavenger hunt checkpoint type of thing, Yeah. Like, so thank you for going here. Here's here's your present.
It's huge to see Disney get into this type of stuff, and it's especially bullish for VV since VV is the biggest holder or dealer of Disney licensed digital collectibles.
It's got to be digital collectibles, man. It's got to be collectibles in gaming. I mean, alt season pretty much got buried and fucking destroyed by Pump Fun and meme coin season.
Yeah, I think meme coins are dead. So
yeah, but now it's like, do we see altcoins? Probably not, because we need some sort of catalyst or trigger to even hit that, right? So I still think it's gaming. I think we haven't seen the gaming run yet. I think that could be, and Off the Grid could be the game to light the fuse. So
yeah, Off the Grid is definitely a big one. I don't know. I think everybody's thinking about the past and looking at what's happening now and talking about cycles, and I think no, this is all completely different. We've never had the government that's doing stuff in crypto themselves and buying crypto themselves, and then we have these big industries that are getting into crypto for the first time. ETFs are being signed. It's just like a whole complete different ball game. So I don't really pay attention to the cycles and looking at the past to predict what's going to happen in the future. I think it's completely unpredictable. I'm glad I don't have any bags right now because it keeps dropping, but I think it's a smart time to get into it because I think they're working together, manipulating that price, keeping it low so that people can buy big bags, and then it's going to pump, especially whenever they do the Bitcoin reserve and all these other reserves. I guess they're going to do Cardano, Solana, and XRP.
They said they weren't adding to it, right? Which is why prices jumped. I think people were like, oh, they were expecting them to, buy big bags and add to the holdings. But I thought they came out and said they weren't adding to the supply. So
I think with it's Bitcoin, I think they are, but the other three, they're only using like seized assets for that or something like that. I don't know the exact specifics. And then we talked about the crypto summit that was supposed to happen last week. We were talking about it on last Tuesday's show, and people were not happy at all. Apparently, they just came on and talked about a few things that everybody already knew, and then they just cut the live stream like 10 minutes after it started. So yeah, it was not very bullish. People were expecting some big news to be announced at the crypto summit. Bob T says, I'm holding on to my Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero. I used to hear people talk about Monero. I haven't heard people talking about it. All of a sudden now people are talking Monero again. That's interesting. He says,
I love me some Monero.
Big A says, I'm playing off the grid right now while I listen. Big A is always playing off the grid. I bet he's a freaking pro at it. I played for a while, but like I always say, it's on PlayStation, and my PlayStation is in my kid's room. I play on my Xbox, and I don't have a new Xbox, so I haven't played a lot of off the grid, but I did play it for a little bit, one weekend.
They put out a big update, man. And
really?
I kept on saying the only thing wrong with it was like it ran good most of the time, and you get into a gunfight, and it was like, whoa, what the hell was going on?
Start lagging?
Now, yeah, it was lagging, choppy, everything. Optimization, just whatever. Now, it was a complete overhaul. It actually does feel like one of my favorite shooter games, which is Rogue Company. Yeah. It feels very much like Rogue Company and has that smooth Fortnite, strafing feel that I think a lot of people will be looking for. So, yeah, massive overhaul. I think it just came out last week or this week. But yeah, for anybody that was kind of on the fence, it's a good time to dive in.
A game like that's really easy to market these days because all you have to do is pay a couple big Twitch streamers to start playing it. Yeah, that's easy. Big A says people are paying big money for over-the-counter deals right now. I hear a lot of people are talking about that's why the market is not going up, even though people are buying, because they're buying over-the-counter and not through exchanges. Big A would know more about it than I would, so I think that's weird. It's very weird that prices haven't pumped with all the bullish news.
We thought about off the grid. Actually, somebody offered me, was like 600, some shit like that, for my my Pioneer outfit.
They're doing over-the-counter deals on off the grid?
Off the grid, yeah. There's you can't do it on the market yet or the blockchain. But I think people are doing like through WhatsApp and PayPal, like
so
they're going to call.
You can transfer. So how do you even transfer it to the person?
Well, you would just put it up on the market cheap for a price that the person was looking for.
Right.
And then it would just be like, all right, I'm listening now, and you're on a voice call, and they do it. Like. Actually, I have 2 Pioneer outfits. I'm thinking about potentially selling one of them. So.
I want one of those Trump outfits that Big A has. I bet those are gonna be worth a
lot.
lot.
I got like 10 of those.
Oh yeah, see, I wish I was into it back then. I should have had a PlayStation. That's what I get for being loyal to Xbox. Then he says, not gonna lie, I've been saying Bitcoin looks like it could hit 50 or 60K. I'm still on the fence, but I'm not playing with anything.
70K could easily be within the range.
I mean, it just went below 80K, so I guess. I mean, I thought Trump was supposed to be good for the crypto markets. I mean, everybody's saying now he's doing it on purpose. Yeah, that makes sense. He's crashing all the markets on purpose, bro. Yeah, keep saying that. Keep believing it. And the last topic for crypto is, and I think this might be an old rumor, and I don't have any updates. I try to dig into it. Didn't have a lot of time. But somebody said that there was a leak, a GTA 6 leak, suggests that the story is going to take place in Miami, which ended up being true, and will include in-game cryptocurrency rewards for players to earn and trade. So, Mo, what do you think? Crypto in GTA 6?
Was that confirmed? Because I know that there was some shady-ass influences.
The only thing confirmed is that it's in Miami.
Yeah, I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'm not going to say how I know or how I think I know, but I don't think that's the case. And I know that there's some other influencers that are like, oh, they're going to make GTA RP, like the people do now on NoPixel, like the streamers.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is, if anybody tries that with crypto, like some of these people are saying, and these are big names that are saying they're going to make it, Rockstar is going to shut them down that morning that shit goes live. They care very much about that IP. They don't fuck around.
True.
So that's,
That makes sense. I'd be very surprised if they were actually implementing crypto into GTA 6, but it would be huge for the crypto market if they did. Troy Carthy says, I miss watching you buy meme coins on live. I miss doing it, man. I was going to change it to being called Live from the Trenches, But I mean, it costs a lot of money to get rugged every day. I mean, if you want to finance me getting rugged every day, by all means, I'll be happy to do it. And every once in a while, I might actually hit a 10x or something. But these days, it's tough out there in the trenches. Rob says Mo's going to be at the Meadowlands this year for any races. You going to the Meadowlands?
I mean, I didn't really plan on it, but man, hit me up on Twitter. We can arrange something. I can get over there.
Heck yeah, have a little get together. Shout out to Greedy Ones in the chat list. Go! And if anybody in Florida might want to hang out, spring break is next week. I think we're going to Smyrna Beach, but I might change my mind. I haven't decided exactly what Airbnb or hotel we're staying at, but I think we're going to go hang out in Florida on the beach for a week. I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you know. We might not be able to do Tuesday, or maybe we'll do it from my iPad. I don't know. But I need some beach. I need some sand in my life. All right, we're going to move back to the main scene, and we're going to talk about what we've been watching this week. 1 second. I don't know what I got to do to fix what's going on with my OBS right now. It's quite annoying. Danielle C says, I bet the GTA does have a crypto market, but only active in game, just like they did like their own little fake stock market. Yeah, I can see that for sure. But it'd be really cool. I mean, it's possible that they do that and then somebody goes around and makes real crypto based on the fake crypto in the game, and then it becomes a thing where you can somehow, I don't know, trade one for the other. Who knows? I don't know. Troy Carthy says, now that you have your lucky Trump hat, you might have more success. That's my problem, is I kept buying the Trump coins. The Trump coins always rug me, and that was my real problem. All right. Our new section that we end the shows with now is What Are You Watching? To talk about what, if anything, me and Mo or anybody in the chat have been watching on TV or the internet this week. Mo, what do you got your eyes on, my friend?
Well, I was catching up on The Traitors. Great show if anybody's never seen it. It's like a murder mystery type show.
Is it Traitors as in Traders or T-R-A-I?
No, T-R-A.
Oh, okay.
T-R-A-I-T-O-R-S.
Okay.
Traitors, like you're traitorous. Yeah, so it's basically like a bunch of reality show celebrities, like known people, and they throw them in a house. They do competitions, almost like another Big Brother type deal. But every night there's like a group that's like the murderers, and then they have to like conspire to kill one person every night. Everybody else votes somebody else off every night. So like there's this whole back and forth of trying to get the killers before they kill everybody. It's a really good show. It's like in the 3rd season now.
Nice, I like that kind of stuff. What channel is it on?
It's a Peacock show.
Ooh, I've got Peacock.
Yeah. And other than that, going back a while ago, I was telling you about that real life Hunger Games I was watching with the dude in Texas.
Yeah.
So I was talking about this guy, Shuby, and I even told my girl at the time, I'm like, yo, this guy is going to be a big streamer. And a lot of people that like interact with his Ice Poseidon, they go on, they get, maybe 100, 200 viewers, right? This kid now has like, I think 7 potential felonies. He's like breaking into military compounds, making a name for himself. Not the best name, but if he learns his lesson quick, he might have enough of a name where he can actually do something with it, like long term. Anyway, he got this crazy idea to fucking build a raft and take it from New York to Miami. That's his shtick right now.
A raft?
Yeah. So, because legally you don't need like a registration and a license if it's a raft under a certain size, right?
Right.
So dude, all week, because I'm sitting here doing like the PFL stuff, I'm gambling, I'm just watching markets, right?
Yep.
So I'm just sitting here and I have the monitors, I'm looking for something to watch, and I'm locked in on that shit right now, bro. But he had to give up. He gave up on the raft idea. He realized it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, sounds dangerous.
He bought a small sailboat.
Oh.
So now he's never sailed before. He's got no boating experience, and he's got this fucking. He fucks with the Grok AI, like you can call it now or some shit. And now it's like scripted and trained to what he's doing. And bro, the content this guy's making is actually pretty fucking funny. I'll give it to him. He's a young kid. I hope he doesn't get arrested because he's got a fucking future, man. The kid's actually pretty funny. He's averaging like 1,000, 1,200 viewers a fucking stream now. It's pretty impressive.
What's his name?
Shuby on Kick. Shoovy.
Shuby. Oh yeah, he probably has to do it on Kick. YouTube will ban him. Daniel C says, new Drive to Survive. New season was pretty awesome. Can't wait for the season to start. I think that's that F1 series. People love F1. Yeah. Did you ever take that test?
What are you watching?
I'm about to watch this test. Troy, I do need to take that test live. I have not done it yet, but I'm willing to do it. There's some test that tells you if you're a Democrat or Republican that he sent me. But Of course, Cobra Kai is back. I didn't even know until I opened up Netflix. The second half of the 6th season, 6 episodes have just dropped. I mean, I don't know if y'all are watching Cobra Kai or not, but it seems kind of boring to me. Every time I start watching it, I watch one episode and I stop. It used to be I would watch one and I would be hooked and I'd watch 3 or 4 episodes, but it's just kind of slow and boring. It's getting kind of old. I just don't like the fact that I'm watching a series now that hasn't concluded. I like to binge watch from the beginning to the end in like a weekend. I don't care how many seasons it has. But on this one, I got to forget what happened. Like the first episode they just released, I'm sitting there watching it and they're talking about what happened on the last episode. And I'm like, bro, that was 4 months ago. I don't remember what happened on the last episode. Who died? I forgot somebody died.
Yeah, spoilers. But yeah, it's I love Cobra Kai. I think it's a great show.
Me too.
But it is done. It's going back to the big. It's going back to the. I think we talked about this on the show.
It's going back to the big screen. So is this
it's going
the last?
back to the big screen.
The last season then?
Yeah, but it's not going back to the big screen like people thought it might, because they were very vague about it in the original announcement years ago. But now it's going to be like Ralph Macchio. It's going to be a combination of the two Karate Kid worlds. So Jackie Chan's partnering up with Ralph Macchio, and I don't know how much of the other cast is going to be involved, but they're going to be the main two, and it's going to be like them two, I guess, training like the next Karate Kid, or I don't know too much about it, but
yeah, I think Jackie Chan's in it too.
Yeah, it's just those two though. It's gonna be like a merging of the two worlds back into the movies. So
Rob says, okay, Moko, I'll keep my eye open for any good races coming up at Meadowlands. Arcade says, are you guys watching White Lotus? I hear everybody talk about White Lotus. I never watch these big shows that everybody's watching. I still haven't watched Game of Thrones. I always watch it like a year or two later. Mo, have you seen White Lotus?
I started watching that. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. There's a lot of shows I can't get into.
I hear you. All right.
What's that, like that vampire comedy show that's on FX? So many people tell me to watch this shit, and I've tried to watch it twice with my girl, once on my own, and I get to like one scene 5 minutes in, and I'm like, I just don't find this funny. Same with like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. People are shocked to find out I don't like that show. Like, bro, you're kind of like it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't. Not my type of show. I watch shit like Three's Company, Scrubs. Everybody Loves Raymond, like that.
Me too.
I watch
Yeah.
shit like The Home Improvement.
I love Scrubs. I think I'm the same as you because everybody used to tell me the same thing about that show, and I tried watching it. I never got into Breaking Bad either. I tried to get into Breaking Bad. It was just
couldn't get into it.
slow for me. All right,
Yeah.
we got a little bit of time, Mo. Do you care if I take this am I a Democrat or Republican quiz live on the air and explain my answers? Troy Carthy wants to learn a little bit about my thinking, and maybe we'll get your responses too, or what you would have picked. So the first question is, when it comes to the economy, you believe in A, government intervention and social welfare programs, or B, free market principles and limited government interference? I definitely believe in A.
Yeah, see, I definitely believe in B. And here you go. This is why the show exists, Chad.
All right, I clicked start. It's probably going to try to advertise to me. Usually this right-wing stuff always tries to advertise to you. All right, yeah, government intervention and social welfare programs, because that's what's better for society. If you have a bunch of people that are poor and desolate with no hope, then you have a bunch more criminals. If you have a bunch more criminals, then no matter how well off and rich you are, you might run into a criminal one day and get shot in the back like the dude from the healthcare CEO did. So that's what's better for society. So that's definitely what I think. Not free market where people can manipulate like we're seeing now. All right, next one. What's your stance on gun control? A, stricter regulations to enhance public safety, or B, upholding the Second Amendment rights and less stringent control? I mean, obviously you know where I'm going here. Obviously we've got people shooting kids in school, and I have a kid, so I think we should definitely have stricter regulations. That I don't even believe that the right wing's definition or understanding of what the Second Amendment says is even correct. I don't even. One person is not a well-regulated militia. So, I mean, where are you at on that, Mo?
So, I mean, I kind of go more with like a half and half here, because I definitely think we need better regulations when it comes to like, if you need a license, you know what I'm saying, to drive a car, and
Yes.
if you have to be a certain age to fucking use alcohol and weed or whatever, like, yeah, there should be a little bit, more focus on who the hell is actually getting these guns. But again, I do believe everybody should have the right to bear arms, right? Like if hunting, self-defense, whatever the case might be. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that with the current way it is, it's just too easy for people to get really dangerous weapons.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you either. I mean, I don't think that everybody's guns should be taken away, because of course the criminals' guns won't be taken away. So you should be able to defend yourself. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we agree on that. It's
this new 1923 movie. I've seen some previews for that 1923 show. I always like historical stuff. I'm into that. All right, next one is healthcare. Should it be primarily managed by the government? Yes, universal healthcare for all citizens, or no, a private-based system for individual choices and a healthcare insurance industry that works as a middleman and really serves no purpose whatsoever other than to take your money. Obviously, I think we should have healthcare.
Are you loading these questions?
Although I did at the end there, I threw
you
that
can't
last
load
part.
the questions. Come on.
I'm sorry, I added a little bit of ad lib to that last part. Sorry, the second choice was no, a private-based system for individual choices.
Do you want my answer?
Yes.
I'll give you my answer. I think it should be universal health care for everybody.
I knew when the Bernie Sanders voice came out, you were going universal.
Well, this is one thing I am. I do lean left on. I do, because I think that I think it's not fair that people might be put in certain positions and not be able to get certain coverage, you know what I'm saying, in life or death situations. Now, again, I don't believe that this means that people should be able to sit around on their ass and do nothing for society and get everything handed to them. I don't believe that. But I do believe when it comes to healthcare, I would get on board with that. And you know how you can actually fund, because I know there'll be a lot of right wings like, well, how the hell do you fund that? You know how you do it? You know the answer?
Tax the rich.
Well, that's one. You can even do it without that. You can legalize weed.
Yeah.
Across the country.
True. I mean, it actually funds itself. You actually save money by having universal health care if you think about the amount of money you would spend on healthcare in the future without preventative health care.
Well, that's once it gets going, right? Once the gravy train's rolling, sure. But to get it started, right, where does that money come from, right?
Right.
You could even say, like, just legalize weed across the board, federal, right? And then redirect that money back now like it does for states when, the states are taxing the weed.
Yep.
And watch how much money. It can not only do free health care for everybody, it could probably take this country out of debt more than any tariff or any other thing that we're trying to do.
Probably,
honestly.
Yeah, 100%. Troy Carthy says, so you're telling me if you were to own a business, you would want the government to heavily regulate it and tell you how you can operate your company? Bro, what was the actual question? Because that was not the actual question. It depends on the actual regulations. But regulation is just a fancy word for rules. You have to have rules. If you don't have rules, then you end up eating lead. You end up with lead in your everything. I mean, you end up with cancer. Like, you got to have regulations or you're going to have 10-year-olds working in mines. I mean, you got to have regulations. You're just saying regulations overall. That's really broad in general. Rob T says 1923 season number 1 was good. Season 2 was slow. 1883 is the prequel. Yellowstone. Oh, so Yellowstone is part of the series?
Yeah, I got to watch those, man.
Yellowstone looks really good. I didn't know it was a part of a whole entire series. That might be something worth getting into. All right,
it's got Kevin Costner behind it, I believe, and he's got another series I think on Nat Geo.
Oh yeah,
on one of those channels. Yeah, he's like really into like American history and
Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, if I'm big into like obviously like ancient civilization history, but American history always kind of I don't say bored me, but it's like. Wars happen, battles happen, we have the proof, we saw it all play out, we know, right?
Yep.
It's like, I think like the mystery of everything else is why I'm so intrigued on the other stuff. But
yeah, because stuff back then isn't certain because it was so long ago.
Right, that too. But it's just like, now I think some of the, maybe a different take on the storytelling from a guy like Costner. Mm-hmm. And I think Mel Gibson does a pretty decent job of it too. I don't love him or hate him, but he does a pretty good job too when you listen to him talk of like, he wants to get in, bro. He wants to fucking get into people's heads and, find out what they're thinking. Even though he might be a fucking nut job to a certain extent, but,
He seems like a nut job to me. Shout out to Abdullah's in the chat. What's up, Abdullah? We are taking a quick quiz. We're just ending up our 2-hour show. Good. But we're doing a quiz about whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat. Troy Carthy wanted to see the results. He's not liking what he's seeing so far. The next question is, how do you view climate change? First answer is urgent action needed, investing in green energy. Second one is skeptical of human-caused climate change. Prioritize economic growth. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah, I'm going with the latter here. Skeptical.
All right, so every scientist in the world says that one thing is true. Conspiracy theories say that it's not true. Oil companies who benefit from it say it's not true. So you believe those people over all the scientists?
No, I believe that scientific data might be missing some of the factors of, again, that we're doing it to ourselves, and that there is going to be no way out of it. And it's going to have to be something that we deal with.
I mean, we did just have the hottest year on record. We just had the hottest 7 days in the history of the world. But okay, I don't know.
Going back in record time, if you go back, even again, talk about ancient civilizations, who knows? Could have been fucking hotter. Could have been colder. Who the hell knows what the fucking climates were like back then?
But the fact that over the last 100 years, the fact that we just had the hottest day in 100 years should mean something to you, at least, right? Obviously,
yes,
if we're getting hotter and hotter,
sa-
then it has something to do with what we're doing.
In the small sample size of our civilization, sure. But on the grand scale of things, right? If we're just a fucking speck and we're a microcosm here in the greater picture, again, this could just be something that just happens. You know what I mean? So it might not necessarily be,
Right, but
stuff
this
that
is
we're
a super
doing.
complicated topic where people have studied really intensely the data about that leads to all this, really complicated ideas that we don't understand, and they are scientists who have devoted their entire lives to it and have spent years and years being taught the information they need to analyze, and they have come to these conclusions. Why does our opinion even come close to their opinion? Shouldn't they trump all of us?
No, because when those people are confronted with any sort of disputing evidence, they lean on the exact answer. And that answer,
Sometimes
sorry, man,
that's
just
true.
doesn't cut it.
Sometimes that's true. They do.
That answer doesn't cut
There's
it
a
to
little
me.
bit
And
of
again,
bias there, but all right. Well, all
the
right.
bias with the money, again, same thing with money in politics. There is more money in archaeology and more money in cover-ups of conspiracies from that type of shit, then we'll never know, because most people don't give a fuck. So they can get away with it much easier and keep that. It's almost like gatekeeping the fucking truth type of shit.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, I just don't think we can unring that bell, I guess, would be my best answer. So
That's hopeful thinking, but all right. Troy says, do you really think our tax dollars is going to change the climate vault? Send me $100 and I'll send some clouds over to your state. Once again, that is not the question that was being asked here, sir. That is not the question that is being asked. And if we decided that we couldn't reverse it, would we not still try? I mean, I don't know. Rob T says, I liked it, but not for everyone. It's 3 hours. Yeah, I like long movies. I don't mind that. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. What's your approach to immigration? These are all basic things. You should know my answer to all these, Troy, honestly. Do you think I was going to say secure border and... Well, maybe I would. What's your approach to immigration? Path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, or secure borders and stricter immigration laws? Now, on this one, I think I'm going with the right one. I don't think we need a path to citizenship for people that are... I mean, it depends on your definition of undocumented immigrants, because when you talk about undocumented immigrants... Are you only talking about illegal immigrants because people seeking asylum are documented? If so, then I agree with secure borders and stricter immigration laws. People who entered illegally, not through the port of entry, and not seeking asylum should not have a path to citizenship.
here we go.
All right, that's where I'm at on that one. All right, we get ready to move on to the next one.
You know my answer.
Grandma Moore also doesn't believe in climate change, but I guess you guys are all smarter than every scientist in the world. Actually, we know from ice cores exactly what the temperature and that. No, Big A, stop. No. They saw a YouTube video. Your science does not matter. Scientist schmientist. All right, next one. Education. Who should fund public schools? First answer, increased government funding for better resources, or local control with reduced federal involvement. Obviously, increased government funding for better resources. They're already underfunded. The teachers have to buy their own supplies, and they only make $30,000 a year. I mean, come on. Local control means that you're going to have some crazy people like in, I think it's Idaho or Utah, where this one crazy superintendent, Ryan somebody, it has them bringing the Bible to class and stuff. That's what happens when you get with local control. I mean, you want the best education for your child, and I think there should be standards to it. I think we need a Department of Education. What do you think, Mo?
I mean, again, I said it earlier, and there is data on this. You can find this chart easily, I'm pretty sure, is that we are the country that invests the most money in education, and yet we rank the lowest. So, I don't think we need to increase government funding on that, but yeah, I don't think we should be allowing, Satanism or some weird shit to be taught in the classroom because they're like, and somebody tried this, right? It was like the House of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Yes.
I think it was like Michigan or something, right?
Yep.
Like, well, I want to teach this class. Well, if you can get a certain amount of people to, sign up for your class, sure, you can teach it because you have enough followers or whatever, right?
Right.
And, I don't really buy into that either. And I know they did that, like, mocking the system. But I don't know, man. Like, we just got to find a way to make that money count. I think there should be probably a little bit of government funding and, interaction or overseeing, but I don't know.
Grandma Moore says, throwing money at something hurts it. Restructure the system. Yeah, I believe in the exact opposite. Throwing money is exactly what we should be doing. They need more funding so that they don't have to buy their own supplies, that teachers can live without worrying about paying their bills or having a second job so that they can focus on teaching the lessons. I mean, I think that hurts education a lot, the fact that the teachers have to struggle to even survive. And that's part
I look at it
of
this way.
funding.
You're not wrong, but I look at it this way, right? Like, if the government system, let's say the government's the New York Jets, right?
Yeah.
And the Jets just shit the bed and they threw so much money at Rodgers and Adams and all these guys, right?
Right.
Well, it didn't work out. They were the lowest in the league, the same way that the education is the lowest in the world, and we're trying to say that we're competing with China. I don't see it, neither on education or AI advancement. We're still, and that's a lie we could talk about from Trump all day, where we're not leading AI, because clearly China is able to do it at a fraction of the cost. We've seen it. So, we would take years to build infrastructure. So, am I wrong on that?
No, you're right.
So I don't know, man. I feel like we would probably have to. That's why I would agree with Grandma on this and say we have to break it down. Like the Jets just got rid of everybody and just rebuild. And how do you rebuild?
Different. Everything's different.
I know, but you have to rebuild with money and different people. You got to break down the core and then build up from the ground up, right? So, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard because a lot of them I could say, well, I'm a centrist, so I can see both sides a little bit. Well,
that's what I'm about to say on this next question, because this is the abortion one. What is your stance on abortion rights? A, pro-choice, supporting women's reproductive freedom, or B, pro-life, advocating for the rights of the unborn? This one I kind of course, I can see both sides of the argument. I lean towards pro-choice because, once again, what matters most to me is what's best for society. I think I've talked about this before, and it's been gone over with in documentaries. But if you look back at when Bill Clinton became president, they expected crime to keep surging. At that time, crime was at its highest point and was kept going up and up. But it was also exactly 15 years from when they made abortion legal. So what happened is crime went down, and the reason it went down is because the more people that are forced to have babies, the more babies you have that are unwanted, the more unwanted babies you have, the more unloved babies you have, and the more unloved babies you have, the more criminals you have. So what's best for society is that people are not forced to have babies they don't want, especially when it comes to something like they were raped or incest, stuff like that. People who think that they should still be forced to carry that baby to term, that one blows my mind. Like, if somebody rapes a woman, you force them to have the rapist baby? Like, hell no, that is craziness in my mind.
that always sounds crazy to me. Like, because that's trauma, and that's like I've done things have happened to me where, like, obviously, you get triggers. Like, you see that kid every day, or think whatever the case might be. Yeah, and that's a crazy one. But as a male, I'm always gonna say, you know what? Listen, the woman's body is woman's choice, right? Like, their choice. Now, on the flip side of that, though, I don't think that's like a get out of jail free card and just be a whore and get knocked up every fucking 3-6 months and get abortions. Because I think that's kind of weird too. Yeah. I think that there should potentially be some sort of like rule in place for that, to be like, hey, this girl is just abusing, like, what the hell, the system or whatever.
Shout out to Captain Obvious is in the chat. What's up, Captain Obvious? Grandma Moore says, my body, my choice. I mean, I've said before that I wouldn't mind the idea of, if you have an abortion, you have mandatory birth control for 2 years or 3 years, something like that.
Well, I'm saying, right? It's like, okay, so you want to get the abortion, all right, and at the same time, they're going to, tie the tubes or whatever they do for women, right?
Yep.
Like,
tie the tubes.
Yeah, so, I don't know. But again, that could be like an invasion of some other sort that I'm not seeing. I'm a dude, so I don't know. I have a hard time, I guess, relating to that.
Do you mind sticking around for another 5 or 10 minutes to get through the quiz?
Sure, let's do it, yeah.
All right, next one. How should taxes be levied? A, higher taxes on the wealthy to support social programs, or B, lower taxes for all to stimulate economic growth. as the easiest question of the day. What do you think, Mo?
Easy for me. Throw me on the left on that one.
On the left, higher taxes on
I
the
don't,
wealthy?
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily like the whole social program at the end of that, but I could say higher taxes on the wealthy. I would have to see where that money's going. I want more transparency, but
Depends
sure.
on your definition of social programs, because a lot of times some things, like even the military, could be considered a social program in ways.
Yeah.
Captain Obvious
All right.
says abortion probably shouldn't be birth control. That's why I say maybe put them on mandatory birth control after having an abortion for a few years, but I don't know. Big A says I learned pro-choice. I lean pro-choice because I think it's a choice that should be made by the woman and her doctor within early pregnancy. Doesn't mean I would personally want my girlfriend to have one. Exactly, I feel the same way. However, they always say it should be a choice made by a woman and her doctor. What about the dad? Why does the dad have no choice? On the other hand, if a girl's pregnant and the dad says, I want you to keep the baby, and the girl says, I want to have an abortion, I guess that's the girl's choice. It's her body, but it's kind of the dad's kid too. So I kind of hear that side of the argument too. If I was in that situation and I got a girl pregnant and I wanted to be a dad and I wasn't a dad already or whatever, and the girl wanted to have an abortion, I would feel like my rights were being abused. I don't know. What do you think?
But how often does that story really exist? And I'm
Not
just
very
not
often.
trying to be a dick here, but because guys are like, holy shit, she's not pregnant. You know, you have like a, pregnancy scare or whatever, where the girl doesn't get a period for like 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, that's a rough 2 weeks, bro. Especially back in the day when we had like wait longer on tests. Like, you sit around and like every phone call's like, holy shit, like, what's gonna happen? Like,
Yeah.
it's a scary world, bro.
Very scary. Denny says, I'd much rather have lower taxes for all. I mean, if we were all at the same rate already, but right now, if I'm paying 50% taxes and Elon Musk is paying 10% taxes, and you say, now we both drop by 2%, that doesn't help. There's still, I think the correct answer is A on this one, in my opinion. Troy said, I thought I might discover that Vault as a Republican, but actually ended up discovering Mo as a Democrat. I already knew that for a while. We're trying to keep that on the down low. We're bringing in me and Woody.
Dude, I've been a centrist my entire life. Listen, I voted both sides. Trust me.
Grandma Moore says, rewrite the tax codes so the loopholes are closed. The only people who can rewrite those tax codes are the people who benefit from the tax code, so they will not rewrite the tax codes because they're the ones benefiting from it. That's the problem. All right, next question. Defense spending, increase or decrease? First option, reduce military spending, focus on diplomacy. Second one, strengthen the military for national security. I could hear arguments for both of them. If I had to pick one, I would say reduce military spending, only because we currently spend more than like the next 5 countries combined.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next one. It says, what are your views on same-sex marriage? Support marriage equality for LGBTQ couples, or traditional marriage is only between a man and a woman? That's an obvious one.
Yeah, again, do whatever the fuck you want, just leave me out of it.
That's the point of living in a country that has freedom. Okay, how do you approach foreign policy? Emphasize diplomacy and international cooperation, or prioritize national interest and strength on the global stage? It depends on the particular situation, man. That's pretty broad.
Yeah, I would say that one. This question's like
You need to do both.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To succeed, sure.
I guess emphasize diplomacy. You don't want to go to war. You don't want to go to battle. So I would if I had a gun to my head, I had to pick one, I would go with diplomacy. But both are equally important. All right, moving on to the next one. Question number 12. Minimum wage, raise or maintain? Raise it to a livable income or keep it low to boost business and employment? Like, who the hell wants people to keep minimum wage low? Like, what is your thinking, Troy Carthy? Because I'm sure you're the one who picked keep it low to boost. Maybe Mo too. I don't know. Why would you want to keep it low? You don't want people to have enough money to survive? It's wild that we subsidize companies like Walmart, but their employees make so little that we have to subsidize their employees too because we give them food stamps and welfare. I
believe every American should make a livable wage. Livable wage. I can't do the fucking voice on my headphones on. No.
I agree with Bernie. He says, I think everyone should have equal opportunity to be unhappy. Don't care if you want to marry a goat. So you think that, I've already made that mistake. I won't do it again. Yeah, get married, and you'll see what it's like to be unhappy. I'm kidding. Kidding to all you happily married people. All right, question 13. Healthcare. Keep private insurance or adopt a single-payer system. single payer system for universal coverage, or keep private insurance with increased competition? I feel like they already had this question, but I'm sticking with the same thing. Single payer system for universal coverage. Denny OC says our minimum wage here is like $17. It doesn't help. It might not help, but I mean, that's probably not a bad thing. I don't want to raise minimum wage, says Grandma Moore. Why would you not want to raise minimum wage?
Well, again, I think some of it too is like localized, because depending on where you live, like a livable wage, in Manhattan is gonna be different, in fucking Kentucky.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Absolutely.
So, that being said, but then you run into the issues of like people will, live back in a cheap neighborhood and cross the river, to a city to make more money. Which again, then you're putting, traffic congestion. You have to take other things into account. Yeah, it's.
I think the fact that the minimum wage hasn't been raised for like 30 or 40 years, but at the same time, productivity has gone way up 3x, and of course, CEO pay has gone 1,000x. So I mean, it's only right that the people who are making them that money, their workers, should make enough to live off of. I mean, back in the day, you could work on an assembly line and make enough money to pay all your bills and save up and buy a house. That's literally impossible now. No matter if you're buying a little baby home, a little tiny shack, you can't buy a shack. Captain says maybe a sliding minimum wage depending on where you live. New York City and California should have a much higher minimum wage than Oklahoma. Is Texas cheap? I would think Texas was expensive. Now, I mean, that's how it is in Indiana. Everything's cheap here. The minimum wage shouldn't be as high in Indiana as it is in California, because I can buy a house for like $30. Denny OC says.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot I was watching, but something. It was there was like some fires going on here, and Long Island was trending on Twitter for a minute.
Yeah.
And I clicked on it with some video. I was just looking through it to see what the hell was going on, and somebody was like, I just looked up Long Island. He's like, man, it's like $400,000 for a shoebox.
Yep. Prices in New York are probably ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, right? And then when I travel and I go other places and I see a house for sale and I see the price, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think I asked you when you were here. I was like, Mo, how much would my house cost if it was in New York with my yard?
Yeah, we did. We talked about that, right?
Yeah. I'd be rich.
Yeah. So, you have to figure out a way, and then how do you really figure out a way? Because nobody wants to be told like what their property's worth, like rent control or anything like that. But
right.
There would have to be some sort of like agreement. And like, okay, well, in this zone,
Yeah, then it gets really complicated.
Exactly, because then it's like, well, who regulates those zones, and
right.
Who regulates the rent inside those, and now it just turns into like the NGOs that we're talking about, like where's that money really going, type of shit,
And it says Whole Foods and Costco that exist in every major city have a $20 minimum wage, and they are thriving. That's a good point. Yeah, there's a lot of places that do have. Yeah, and they do just fine.
Yeah.
All right, let's move
on.
on.
I think they get some more productive workers, because last time I checked, when I go to McDonald's, they have a little timer, and they get you like through the whole drive-through in like under 60 seconds, or they give you coupons.
I don't know.
They're hustling,
I've seen the
dude.
timer, but I never got any reward for them taking too long.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think if you don't ask for it, but I think it's supposed to be like 60 seconds or 90 seconds. They're in like rush hour or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they don't get you out there in time, then, they give you like a free fry coupon or something like that.
Grandma Moore says, if you raise the minimum wage, then it is even harder to be middle class, for example, so everyone stays poor. How does that, how? How does that make sense? I mean, you said a thing, but it doesn't have any causation. Like, how does that go together? Whatever happened to the Long Island drones? Nobody talks about them anymore. We mentioned that a few weeks ago. Apparently, they're still around.
Well, Trump said they were government testing.
Yeah,
that's all they said.
And then everybody stopped talking about them.
Everybody stopped talking about them.
Trump squashed that one. We got OG Smurf Dabs in the building. Let's go. I never did tell you, MoKnowz, about my Peppa the Pig story. It was all because of Smurf Dabs. He was the one who hooked me up with Peppa the Pig. It's a long story. We're already over, and we still got a couple more questions. Question number 14 out of 15. What is your stance on capital punishment? A, oppose it, advocate for alternative sentencing, or B, support it for certain heinous crimes. This is a good one. Where you at, Mo?
Yeah, if you do certain crimes, you're cooked. Like there is no coming back.
All right, so where I'm at on this is I oppose it. And the reason I oppose it is the second that you had one person on death row Uh-oh, am I frozen? There we go. The second you had one person on death row who got executed or didn't even get executed, was found out to be innocent, is over with for me right there. I mean, if you can have people on here, you're killing people that end up being innocent, then you shouldn't be doing this crap. Who knows in the future what technology will exist to prove somebody's innocence? So any type of admittance of guilt, any admittance of guilt can be coerced. Any type of video footage can be faked. I mean, most likely these people are guilty. However, I don't like the idea of killing them, because who knows in the future if some new DNA evidence develops and we find out that they're innocent. I just can't take the idea of killing innocent people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So in the only cases I can say, all right, you know what? Like, flip the switch on them or fry them, right? Is if a guy is just like so evil that he's just like, I'm going to find every young kid and I'm just going to murder them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they're just spurting out wild shit like that, like, I don't know how you could let those people really stick around, think they can be rehabilitated. Now, if you have someone that, you know, some wires were crossed, maybe they were ex-freaking drug addict and they got some altercation and they want to put some dude out the window on a third story and he kills them. You know what I mean? Like, should that guy be getting fried? I'm probably going to argue against that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just feel like there's too many chances that the wrong person, it's already even happened, so we know it can happen. The wrong person gets killed. Like when they came out with DNA evidence for the first time ever, all these people that were in prison or on death row were like all of a sudden like, oh yeah, no, you were all innocent the whole entire time. And half the time, it's black people who are put in there by racist cops just because they're racist. That's why I'm just like, nah, man, you can't be killing people, personally.
I think nowadays with today's technology and where we're going to move to, like just think about again with whether it be Neuralink or something else. That's what they thought back then before DNA evidence. They didn't think technology was going to advance the way it did. They never do, but it always does. Technology always advances. Well, of course, but we're also going to peak at some point, and I think that peak could very easily be the fact that like there's cameras everywhere, majority of shit's fucking caught, and again, if you believe in like this upload, you know, type of shit. All your vision, everything that you see is if you recorded. And just like the police can go back and watch the police cameras or whatever, they can be able to just be like, oh, you're a suspect. Boom, we're just going to take your brain. We're going to go back. We're going to scrub it. We're going to go back, whatever, 7 days. We're going to see everything.
It's easy to make videos with AI now. They got all this AI video enhancement. Imagine 10 years from now. They make a video of MoKnowz doing anything they want MoKnowz to be doing. All right, let me catch up with the chat. Get to the last question. Denny OC says, if I make $100K a year, that's like less the $70K. Average home cost here is around $750K. Most make less than $100K. Yeah, it's becoming impossible to buy houses, especially with corporations buying up all the houses now and jacking up the prices. I think they need to do something about that, like in Congress. New home ownership is almost impossible. I agree. Grandma Moore says, during the crime, they might have to be stopped. Other than that, I agree with Vault. Yeah, I agree. During the crime, they may have to be stopped. All right, I'm going to click oppose, although Mo opposes that answer. Last question. How do you feel about social safety net programs? A, essential to support the vulnerable and address inequality, or B, prefer less reliance on government aid, encourage personal responsibility? That's an obvious one for me. I think that's what's best for society, is to help the people that are the most in need. The more people that you have that are desolate, that have no hope, the more criminals you have, the more violence you have, and the less safe society you live in. What do you think, Mo?
Less reliance on government aid, encourage personal responsibility. While, having some sort of empathy. And I've seen it firsthand, especially like COVID, even other times of my life. People got a little bit of a handout and they just became the laziest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. And
that's a
I would hate
personal
for that.
choice.
I would hate for that to happen in society. Well, it's very easy. It's very easy to, same thing with like trust children, like trust babies, whatever, trust fund babies. It's like, you coddle these people, you make it easy for them, I mean, again, like my generation, your generation, we used to walk in the creek barefoot, and I'm not even joking when I say that shit, broken glass, but we didn't give a fuck, dude. We built immunities. And then as we got older, it's like these kids are like, they got gloves on all the time, they're being pampered, they got like air ionizers and shit. And then when they get exposed to a little bit of dust somewhere in the real world, they can't fucking cut it. And then they're living in a bubble, So I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like you gotta let them free fall a little bit, man, and find their way.
Rob T says, Vault, tri-state where your Democrat vote counts more, salary increases along with average home prices, and probably state taxes. And I could probably actually get a job with my degree in New York. But It's too dangerous, bro. I'd rather be living here in Indiana where it's nice and safe.
Not
I mean, it's
dangerous,
nice. I ain't trying to live in New York, bro. I went to Louisville the other day. 2 crashes just for me going from one place to another. I witnessed 2 crashes. One guy freaking running across the road half naked. I mean, I'm chilling, bro.
Bro, let me tell you something, okay? I was at where you're at, okay? And I know you talked about the Louisville, remember? Because I had people telling me when I was in the parking lot streaming that night near that bar downtown, right?
Yep.
And I had people texting me and screaming at me like, yo, get the fuck out. Like, what are you doing? And I brought up the crime map of that area.
Yeah.
And that shit was red, dude. I'm talking like red. And then I brought it up for Long Island, New York. That shit was beautiful compared to what I was seeing over there. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, hell yeah. Now, you will find some crime here, but a lot of it is like weird, dumb shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Now, if you go into Manhattan, you know, and you go like Brooklyn or Queens, especially with some of the, you know, immigration stuff, yeah, you can find some troublemakers. I was actually telling my girl not too long ago, and by the way, recently these attacks have gone down, but there was people getting robbed. I think I said on the show, there was people getting robbed in broad daylight. Like sitting outside at the cafe, people just stopping.
I thought that happened all the time in New York.
No. Not in this fashion. Like, this shit was getting out of hand. Like, they would just get like brazen fucking criminals, man. It
Rob's
used
trying
to
to get
be
me to
like
move to Staten Island. Ain't that where all the white gangsters live? Staten Island.
the what?
Staten Island, where all the white gangsters live. Ain't that Pete Davidson?
Like the wannabes, and most of the time, it's,
This
I
is
feel
my
like-
New York knowledge for you.
yeah.
Daniel C says, I meant if I
man,
was
you know.
middle class citizen, making $100K, then you wouldn't be able to afford a house. I know, and it ain't right. Big A says, I've always read with cost of government provided appeals, it costs more to put someone to death versus life in prison. I would be surprised. I think I've heard
I find that
stats.
hard to believe.
I've heard stats like that. It depends on if you're using like lethal injection or electricity, which I don't even know. Do they still use the electric chair? I don't know. Rob T says it's not
They're
dangerous.
bringing that shit back in Texas or something, aren't they? They're bringing back the chair.
Texas sounds like the place to do it.
Yeah.
Rob says
Give
Mo
them
and
the
I.
chair.
Yeah, you and Mo are still alive, but there's plenty of people in New York who aren't, sir. Don't act like you all have survived New York. It's a jungle out there. They made songs about it. I listen to Biggie. Grandma Moore says it's a trap.
Oh, I think you're referring to Alicia Keys.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hear you. Yeah. Exactly. Troy says, Walt, why do you support big government on all the questions about government control? They've sunk their hooks too far into you. All right, we'll explain it one more time. They're going to end the stream. I think it's very simple.
You got your notepad.
Power is absolute. So the less power that government has, the more power that corporations have. Corporations and government can both control your lives in the exact same way. You can vote politicians out. You cannot vote CEOs out. End of story. Rob T
If the
says,
problem is when those politicians somehow slide their way into CEO and CFO positions,
I'm for making government big, lots of big government spending, but first, you got to get money out of politics. That's why we have all the corruptions. That's why we have con men in Congress. You get rid of all the money out of politics, and then government will do what it's supposed to do.
I mean, we could potentially have a con man at the head of it all right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, listen, money out of politics, 100%, dude. 100%.
I didn't know Pennsylvania was included in that tri-state area. I'm going nowhere near Pennsylvania. I've seen that, what's it called, Kinsborough or something, where all the crackheads are the fentanyl people. I mean, that place looks like Zombie Island. It's scary. No way I'd go move there. Move to Jersey. I've always heard bad things about Jersey. Plus, they got drones now. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Cannabis.
Yeah, I don't like Jersey too much.
Sign me up.
I would probably move upstate New York. I'd go to Florida. I'd go to Texas.
I love Florida. Florida's always my favorite. I used to live in Pensacola when I was a baby, and I always vacation there. In fact, we're about to go there next week, and we were just there a few months ago in St. Augustine. But all right, we are way past our usual time, y'all. About time to end the stream. We go live every Tuesday from 5 to 7 with me and Mo for Tales from the Crypto. Thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us and participating. Big shout out to Mo for co-hosting. What do you got planned for this week? Anything special?
Chilling, man. New season on PFL, racing, got breeding coming up. And other than that, I've been playing NHL with my homeboy. Bring the PS5 over by him.
Nice.
And we play NHL on the same team against the computer. So we've been doing that.
Let's go. Yeah. I think I might actually try to run my horses again. I haven't ran them in months, and maybe I need
It's a
to
good time, man.
Yeah, I need to get back into photo finish live because I feel like it's got the potential to blow up even more. than it has. All right, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out, and I'll see you either next Tuesday or this weekend. We got 2 VV drops this weekend. I'll probably be live for those. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend, or a great week, actually, and we'll see you on the next one. Later. All right, let's check the prices one more time, then we're going to end the stream. I think Arcade might